Well, good morrow, one and all. A week ago, we were like, hey, see you after Thanksgiving. Guess what? We lied. And that's good news for everybody because it means we're back with Rocket League on Friday. It's playoffs time. Relic and Galgan joining you for this first match of four. And what a first match it is, Galgan. We have playoffs. We're going to the Great Plains first and foremost. Now, how this works is two groups are effectively sorted into one playoff, and that goes all across the country, all across all the different conferences. The top four from each of those groups is what is effectively sorted into our top eight. And today we start with one of the top seeds against one of the bottom seeds, but fourth seeds when it comes to the group. Unfortunately for that fourth seed, they're going to have to go up against an unbeaten team in terms of series.
Indeed, they will. That unbeaten team you allude to, Relic, coming out of Great Plains B. It's Mizzou Esports of the Champions Division. Obviously, with Great Plains B, we must have Great Plains A, and that's where we find our fourth seed out of that group for this particular matchup, Oklahoma City University. Plenty of Oklahoma schools making it through to the playoffs, but will any be successful? We'll just have to wait and see.
Certainly, if you look at the stats board, not likely. But let's take a look at the roster board for both of our sides as they head into this clutch contest in the quarterfinals. First of all, with Mizzou, Crimson, Frostbites, and Exodia. Now, listen, these three, as I say, they've not dropped a series. They have dropped games, so not invincible, but they have only dropped one game per series, adding up to three across the entire season. They have not dropped more than two games in a single series. Therefore, simple maths will tell you, and that's going to be a tall mountain to climb for their opponents today. Not Oklahoma Academy, but Oklahoma City University. And they actually share something in common with Oklahoma over in Group B as we take a look at their roster now. Both of them, Galgan, made it into the top four by virtue of one game win differential over fifth.
It's fantastic that they've got that amongst each other, but they'll need to find another gear here. I believe you and I have seen this team on stream before, but for those unacquainted with the city of Oklahoma University, Nickel, Miracle, and Real Taterman taking to the pitch tonight in this series for the playoffs. Again, it's a single elimination bracket. This is the quarterfinals. It'll be a best of five for this particular series, and all indications would lean towards Mizzou to keep that undefeated streak alive, but Oklahoma City can do well by themselves, 4-2 in the regular season. Some tough losses early on to the Ottawa Braves, but maybe they can right that ship right here and right now. Series about to get underway.
Indeed, of course, the one thing going in Oklahoma City University's simply that we do not know how both groups stack up against each other. A 6-0 in one group could be mid-table in the other. And as we get kicked off here, Mizzou Esports in the blue, Oklahoma City University in the orange. I promise I'll try and find a better acronym for that than just spelling it out for you. They know that they have to be on their A game at the very least to strike some fear into their much more favored opponents.
For Mizzou, it only took 28 seconds, but all that pressure builds up all too quickly against Oklahoma City.
Day by day, I get more and more irate with the influence of Gen Z. Back in my day, Galgan, it was Exodia obliterate. Although not obliterated just yet, our Oklahoma City University, or OCU, as I will try and call them from now on out. It's still very early in the game, and they're trying to wrestle possession away from Mizzou Esports, gain a little bit of real estate further upfield. Nickel, for example, going off this backboard. It's another backboard hit from Taterman, but that's way too easily read by the blue team. Able to break away. Two fights is denied. The ball thrown away into midfield.
So I would say that you would call them OCU, Mizzou would call them OC Who, but then again, I feel like Ms. Who is right there, so you really don't have a whole lot of room to talk if you're going to try and make that insult. But Exodia, all they're going to try and do is find the goals, find all five cards of the Forbidden One, my goodness, and try and unlock this game early on. I mean, it's a minute and 10 gone. It's 2-0 to Mizzou. They want to run away with this one early.
Well, speaking of who, there was a Doctor Who short released for children in need earlier today. Our first look in person at the 14th Doctor, and well, they were in need of a goal, were OCU, and they've got that straight off the kickoff with Nickel.
Unfortunately, not going to get them 5 in one go, much like the currency, but they'll take it. Right off the kickoff, just kind of slips through everybody from Mizzou playing towards that left side. Simple as you like. And OCU on the board early here. Plenty more to go, however. I always ask this questions of games that start in this manner. Where do we get that stopping point? The defense is starting to clam up, get a bit more resistance going, or do we really just have this offensive onslaught of a game number one? For the time being, Mizzou having some solid rotations there from the counter, but I don't know if you could say the same at the middle of the field. Everybody committed for that one.
That sure was a thing that we all saw. And right down the other end, it's triple commit City, and they get a goal out of it. Frostbite ice cold.
They just keep on doing it, but hey, if it ain't broke, do not fix it. Crims didn't really have the rights to jump for that ball, but Exodia and Frostbite were linked up from the start, and it's clear that that's going to continue as this series progresses. So it's another thing that OCU have to shut down is that synergy that you see between Exodia and Frostbite, trying to lock that out, not allow them to set up passing lanes. Powerful shot to open things up, though, for OCU. Off the kickoff, again, it's where they like to generate a lot of their pressure, but what else can they do from the neutral state? That is where this game is going to be won.
Board initiative, we want to beat OCU. What will their next decision be for the triple committee? Moving forward, it's Exodia in support, looking for that challenge win, and wins the challenge, but only goes as far as the near post. Is Crims going up high? Oh, nice bump from Tater in the midfield. Gives them a little bit more space to work with. Miracle to nobody in particular except the blue team. Tater can't pounce upon the loose possession from Crims. Moves through the sidewall. Challenge. Frostbite up. Whiffington City. Exodia. And there's Crims. Flyby. What on earth is this team doing? My goodness.
I can't read into it well enough. Almost a double there for Nickel, trying to get in between everybody, but Mizzou seems to just want to overwhelm in the most confusing way possible. Maybe if they are the only ones who truly know what the game plan is, then they'll be able to confuse OCU that much more, but it's a place that you don't see too often, and it tends to backfire more often than not. Mizzou look confident, though, pulling it off with these double and triple commits. It's all in the calculations, I suppose, but they've got to watch themselves. They push a bit too far forward too often, and OCU will have more than enough chances to equalize this game.
I'm real frustrated with OCU because there are so many shooting lanes, so many opportunities. Runaway ball, this should be put away, and yet it's not. To be fair to Crims, he gets there first and throws it somewhat downtown. I'm not going to say fully to the shops just yet. Tater setting up for a blue goal in the making. Miracle now. Got 100 boost to work with. Mizzou Esports can afford to buy time. If they find a fourth, then this is surely all she wrote for game number one.
The time is not on their side for OCU. Neither is possession. Mizzou's been doing a solid job of, at the very least, presenting challenges, 50-50s whenever they can. And OCU's defensive response has been too slow to count. But Tater finally opens up some space. Now another challenge. It goes away. Crims takes the ball clean, but Frostbite gets in the way again. Another chance for OCU to jump right through, capitalize on that double commit, but it's played off the backboard well. Out through the corner now. Shot opportunity, but taken away by Exodia. And somehow Mizzou walk that one back the other way and grab a goal in a situation where you'd count OCU to have scored 3 in the same amount of time.
I can't tell if this is complacency or just bad Rocket League. Because OCU have got to be looking around to themselves and wondering, how on earth have we not scored more than one goal? Mizzou Esports with so many errors stockpiled on top of each other, and yet they find themselves 4 goals up to the good.
It's a level of confidence you don't see too often at this level of play. But Mizzou Esports are here to make a statement early on. Don't want to waste everything in the tank here in the first game of the series, but you can write this one off in ink if you must. It feels that confident for Mizzou. OCU have to find another gear offensively and find it fast. because this performance has been less than convincing. Although they've had challenges, they've sent shots on frame. Mizzou just get to try and walk it right on back, relatively resistance-free.
Shot again, too short, too sharp an angle. Infield, and Mizzou Esports swarming around. A second goal will look good for OCU, but they're not going to get it. Mizzou Esports all up on defense. Frostbite with the save. There's another shot from Tater, but Nickel wasn't there to receive. Taken out the play by the demo. 5-1. I think the score was more convincing than a performance from either side. Maybe the correct result was earned in the end, I guess. It's so difficult to say.
I get the impression that, because we're here so often, we are just the learning algorithms that have been trying to figure out, how to win a game of Rocket League. And yet our masterminds above us have just fed us the most confusing data points that are trying to buck every trend that we know to exist. Because if you watch that game back, again, the double commits, the triple commits you see out of Mizzou, that's not the factors you would expect of a winning team, and yet they still get it done. Now, that's the question that we have to ask, right? Do we place that on Mizzou, trying to play this bombastic style and really not having a care about what they're doing? Or do you place it on OCU to find those opportunities? Like I'm saying, if you get a double commit out of Mizzou, what are you going to do on the capitalization front then to try and get a better chance for yourself?
Bombastic, one way to describe it. I think if I was to assign a word, I go reckless. Reckless play, and again, that falls on OCU to, score. And they're flailing around. You see there, 2 players, a double commit, amounting to nothing. Neither of them touched the ball. Of course, it's always a clean slate at the beginning of every game. For Mizzou Esports, if they're to lose from here, then my goodness, would that be an upset for the books?
There's a definite comfort level, though. You can tell. It feels like Mizzou are just waiting for OCU to chase this ball, almost as if they're inviting them in, by making it look like they're making mistakes. It's nearly impossible to read into the exact mental game of the Mizzou players right now, but if I had to pick, it all feels calculated, which is scary because it doesn't look pristine, and yet you still get the sense that Mizzou know exactly what they're doing here.
I was going to say, the more this game goes on, the more this series goes on, it does feel complacency related. But that complacency's got to end. The jigsaw pieces finally put together, an equalizer.
It's a touch that you expect players to make. And yes, a shaky challenge at the end, but Nickel was still there threatening the double. You have to have the fast response for that, and Mizzou do, but it's not the response they needed. We've got a tie game early on. Kickoffs have been, strong at times for OCU. They get another clear back into the zone to kick things off, and again, 2 players very close. Crim's the only one back, but that's the key challenge right there. The third defender in line for Mizzou feels no pain, does not waver in their resolve to clear the ball, and that's the difference that's not allowing OCU to set up their offensive shot.
Who's got the painkillers ready? Because whichever team manages to find them and spread them out and give each other a little bit of numbing feeling, just a sense of calm, might well be the one that goes on to win this series irrespective. I was real worried for OCU after that first Mizzou goal, but you know what? They have settled down ever so slightly. Mizzou Esports still overcommitting multiple times over on plays which they simply don't have to. We're spending a little bit of time now in the orange half. Exodia taking out Miracles, so those escape trajectories very much limited. That's great work from Nickel. Definitely lifting the responsibility of the team onto his back.
You can see, though, again, how aggressive Crims is to get into the sequence. Now back, it's a miss, but it almost doesn't matter. A screen is set. Nickel finds a way through, and a bump onto Exodia. And again, so much feels like you're just adding points to this OCU defense to get the clear. They've got enough saved up in the bank, and yet they're still being gifted some from Mizzou. But against all odds, against all hope, it's still the side in blue that are getting the better of the scoring chances. We go back the other way. Solid flick there from Nickel, and it's the first lead of the series for OCU.
Man Mountain made a huge save just 30 seconds earlier. Traveled the entire length of the pitch. Exodia not fast enough to deny Nickel from that lift into the net. Just past half time. Still plenty of it left for Mizzou to find an equalizer now for themselves. Oh, survival of the fittest, or survival of the fakes. Oh my goodness, Taterman on a plate.
You already had the strong kickoff and then completely slow rolling everyone. All of a sudden, the tables, Relic, I can feel them turning bit by bit. OCU that much closer to getting back in this series.
Get that jacket because you've been left in the cold, sauteed, roasted. Taterman with a third goal, such an important one for OCU. That 2-goal margin, still precarious in my books, but far, far safer than the situation just moments ago. And downfield, Frostbite's got to get to this one, makes a save.
It's an important step here for Mizzou to take in this series. Now they're being forced to get to the ball rather than always presenting those challenges. They've got to carve them out for themselves. You really start to question where this team's head is at offensively. Another double doesn't work out. It's Exodia back alone, makes an early challenge. That's the right play. Now it's forced into a very neutral side, but Crims misses and Frostbite again beat over the top. It's these sequences back and forth where two Mizzou players are beat in the same small stretch that really make it difficult to see a way through for them.
Mizzou's so frustrated every time they break out. They're desperately looking to make something happen. Slow down solo players that allow OCU to move back into defensive positions, which also enable those counter-attacking opportunities. A miss there, a miss here. Mizzou Esports living up to at least half of their names. 60 seconds left on the clock now. A goal's got to come sooner or later, otherwise we're talking about tie series.
Another challenge on the side wall, set to the back. Frostbite stretching for the touch and makes it. Exodia with a breakout chance. Flip reset used early to waterfall. Frostbite misses. Crims picks it up at a bottom corner. Double commit save for OCU. Keeps them up by 2. 40 seconds to play. Another center ball goes helpless, however, as Crims needs some boost. Big challenge from Miracle here. Frostbite touches to the sidewall, but it's all starting to fall by the wayside as OCU get another shake at it inside of 30 seconds to go. They almost make it 4.
Exodia pulling out some dark magician tricks to rescue that one out from the net, and does basically a little bit of what we saw earlier from Nickel from one side of the pitch down right to the other end. Miracle with a front flip. Exodia over the top, sees the committal. Ka-chow indeed. Barnstormer finish.
Talked at length so much about beating 2 players in one go, but it's a big problem if your third is out of the sequence. Big clear, 15 seconds now, and Mizzou, 1 golden chance to send us to OT, but it's gonna be a long ways away, especially if you find yourself down 2. It's a simple clear, it's a hat trick for Nickel, and it's a 4th for OCU.
And look, there's not much that Exodia could have done more there. Gets a decent clearance out to the midfield. It's more on his teammates to recognize that the read was there and that could potentially be heading on target. I am so full of praise for this team playing in orange right now. This is the sort of OCU performance that I was expecting more of from game number 1. Just took a little bit of time in the oven, Galgan. Smells good now that they're out of it.
Really is a fantastic sight to see. 1 game apiece as we head to the 3rd of the series. OCU even things up. It does feel like they've received the invitation from Mizzou saying, hey, play your game. We'll be waiting for you. And they've taken it, they've torn it to shreds, they've tossed it into the air like confetti. And hey, I guess they're using that confetti to celebrate the game to win, but don't celebrate too early, OCU. There's still a job to be done, because I feel like much as though we were talking in game number 1 about another gear being found for OCU offensively, I have to believe that it's there for Mizzou, that they can play much cleaner than they did in the first game of this series. The question is, are they going to? You know, it's a very easy question to ask, but to answer, kind of a different story.
Time will tell. Could not agree with you more, mostly because, again, have to reiterate, Mizzou haven't lost more than 1 game in a series.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 3 games in 6 series. This team dominated Group B, and they were way better than this. cut out the mistakes, and they are surely favorites once again. Or are they? They've allowed OCU to gain confidence, to walk themselves into this tournament bracket, and if there's anything that we've learned about league form against tournament form is that you can never count on one to inform you of the other.
That's exactly right, though, because again, if you tell me, right, that Mizzou have dropped one game in half of the series that they played in the regular season, I'd expect that trend to come close to continuing in the playoffs. So you've got to give credit where credit is due, but Mizzou know that they have an undefeated record to protect. And in the playoffs, it does not matter how you did in the regular season. You got to play on the night of. Right now, Mizzou looking to deliver.
It's a nice bit of placement from Exodia as well, forcing the defense into a stretch too far for them, and an early goal just to settle down the team in blue. That is a giveaway. Thankfully for Tater, Miracle was in net to provide just one of those. Crims pickpocketed and forced back into their own half are Mizzou Esports. Exodia with the pop-up really to no one in particular. OCU now taking up possession. It's Miracle. Nickel with a turnaround, bumped out the way. Crims on his bike, looking to the far side of the field, looking for Frostbite. Doesn't reach it in time.
Challenge here. Exodia picks the ball clean. Out through the corner, back and forth we go. Mizzou looking for control now, as opposed to the quick clears they were searching for just 20 seconds earlier. Frostbite challenge, not quite enough power. Exodia grabs the boost. Crim's not willing to jump for that ball just yet, and they've given a whole load of allowance here to OCU to allow for the counter, but a beautiful second jump on that one. Crims misses, everybody's missing. It all falls apart for Mizzou. Solid scoring chance with the defender stuck on the near post, but they can't convert.
What a mistaker to make her. Miracle. Well, gave it to Tater, who paid for that clearance with their life momentarily, of course. Over to the far side of the pitch. Nickel. Oh, Miracle doesn't read that well at all. Frostbite intercepts. Tater. No boost. Missed out on the 100. Leaves it to Nickel. If anyone's going to make the difference, it will be them. And might they just make it here through the challenge? No, but the follow-up is most certainly going to do the damage. 1-1.
It's a real difference maker in this series, though, that we're seeing OCU take advantage of the situations where Mizzou overstepped their boundaries. They're trying to make these early jumps, the players of Mizzou, to challenge the ball, make it an awkward touch for OCU to take, and not allow them to get the passing lanes they want. But that, again, starts to backfire. If you send yourself too early to the sequence defensively, you thin out the numbers, boost players everything-wise to make the save on the follow-up. OCU are now starting to get that picture painted well in their heads that they can take that second or third shot, and Mizzou may not be ready for that follow-through.
Second game in a row, just needed time to warm up. OCU. Have Mizzou missed the train? Have they missed their chance to plow into an unassailable lead? Miracle, that's lovely deployment to the right-hand side, and it's on target from Nickel. Not what they intended, I'm sure.
But still, a great run from Miracle to the goal line immediately after making that pass. It doesn't do a whole lot because the majority of bumping and confusion is between the Mizzou players themselves, but just the thought and the foresight to do something like that as the lead attacker is what gives you that much higher of a chance to score on an opportunity like that. Exodia, beautiful shot. Nickel, a fantastic save, and look at OCU back the other way immediately with a 1-2 to the back wall.
That's one of those rare occasions where sitting further back from the goal line has actually really aided Nickel. Exodia, if they placed it anywhere else, probably guaranteed a goal straight at the keeper, but the keeper still had to make the save from far back. That's another one on target. Crims with the save. Nickel credited with the shot. Up and away from the aforementioned player. Miracle takes over. Prioritizes the boost over the ball. Up high to try and challenge Exodia. No chance with that trajectory. Back down into the midfield, but Crims on target! 2-2!
They throw it right back at OCU. Another goal line run. It's off of Exodia going high. The touch goes low. That quick change in direction is too much for Tater to handle with Frostbite in their face. 2 apiece. 1:41 to play. This feels like the most crucial moment of this series we will witness thus far.
It always has to be game 3. The hump that breaks the camel's back, so to speak. No backbreaker performances from anyone individually as of yet. I guess maybe you could assign that to Nickel, but there's still a ways to go before this game 3 is complete.
Exodia with a carry over the top. All of a sudden, it's clear air. Blake, and you miss it. The defense of OCU not quite set. They had too much faith in that clear, but the miracle was not to be found. And oh dear, looked like close contact with Exodia, but it won't count for anything other than a Mizzou goal.
Yeah, Miracle caught upfield, but ultimately the responsibility didn't lie with them. Very much on the shoulders of Nickel yet again, but one man can only do so much. And eventually a mistake was going to creep into his own system. Strong response straight off the kickoff. Back in field. Miss. Gotta be put home. And it's not. Frostbite registers a save somewhat inadvertently. And here he is now with a musty flick. Clearance over the top to Crims. It's on target anyway. Nickel into the save.
Great counter chance here for Nickel. Flip reset. Maybe didn't have it. Takes it down low anyway. Miracle with a demo onto Exodia, but Frostbite still getting the push going. Miracle out to Nickel. That's a solid pass to the side. Nickel immediately puts it back center, but Frostbite with a block. Everybody from Mizzou is stacked up in that corner. Miracle wants to take advantage, but is forced to play it high to start. Not a great spot to jump from, but Nickel wins the challenge anyway. Gets it center down, but nobody there to take the shot. It'll have to be one last chance.
Great pick. Cooks it a bench to clear some space, but it's back into Orange possession, and they're on the hunt for more. Nickel sees Tater in field, keeps it close to the chest, intercepted, tackled. Miracle into no man's land with no boost and no hope. They've got to pull out for now. Nickel for that backboard. Everybody throws themselves at it. Everybody misses. That'll suit Mizzou Esports just fine. Match points.
An unlucky finish there for OCU. Couple of chances earlier on in the game. They're really going to want back. 1 goal difference. But it doesn't matter. They've got to find 2 games on the trot to take this series at the same time. Like when we're having these conversations about OCU and their ways into the series, again, we spent all of the pre-series talking about how Mizzou dominated their group, went undefeated, only dropped a single game in half of their group stage matches. This looks like a much stronger matchup for them than they were anticipating, and I think that could have caught them off guard. But again, you don't want to take too much credit away from both of these teams. You can tell that they're really starting to adapt and warm up into this series. It's a shame that it's not a best of 7.
I couldn't agree more. OCU definitely still playing good. I just think this was all about Mizzou Esports cutting out a lot of those errors that we picked up on previously. And because there were less errors, they found themselves in better positions to, if not transition downfield and create opportunities, to actually go for those shooting opportunities in the first place. Because that OCU defense, it's good. It's not fantastic. And they're going to have to rely on their offensive output now, I think, if they want to get themselves into a Game 5 position. That's exactly what they've done through Tater in the first 10.
It's a great response from OCU right off the rip here in game number 4. The kickoffs have always looked like above decent, I'd say, for OCU.
Yeah.
Like they haven't all resulted in scoring chances, but they've had some very solid pressure immediately off that opening sequence. If they can continue that, obviously you need to see the neutral play continue to flourish if OCU want to win this series. But as long as they've got kickoffs in their pocket, that's one way to kind of tilt the seesaw further.
For sure, even when they quote-unquote lose the kickoffs, they follow up with a strong challenge, and more often than not results in a bit of pressure, at least for Mizzou Esports to consider for the short term. Here's Tater, certainly focused on defense for now on Mizzou Esports. Miracle, easily read, easily challenged. A lot of real estate gained by Exodia, picks up the 100 boost on the way through as well, although this is good from Nickel, forcing them back, taken out by Exodia. Tater runs into 2 players on that backboard. Miracle now, another backboard hit, but has to rotate out, much like his teammates before him.
Again, though, OCU doing a solid job of realizing how close the Mizzou players play to each other and trying to use that to their advantage. But it's all about how these teams are going to stack up on either side. Plenty of chances have come quickly here. Nickel, happy to play that one from the center. It's set up well for Tater to take a challenge, and that's a strong one at that. But a double demo leaves Frostbite alone with the ball back the other way, completely nullifying the advantage OCU would have grabbed, as now everybody else from Mizzou has a prime defensive stance.
Frostbite. Yeah, Miracle saw that coming. Still the forward momentum favoring Mizu. Exodia. And that's down to Miracle. Navigates his way past one. On the attack, 25 boost infield. That's a lovely pass! And it's poached by Nickel!
Oh my goodness. I want to watch this one back. Got a whole lot of momentum from something. Seems like the collision with the defender in the corner. But it works. Nickel was ready and waiting at the top of the box. It was a beautiful run that you see with the defender in hand, but it did not matter. A 2-0 lead immediately brought... Oh, never mind, Tater. Huge pull from the top corner.
Big save, clutch save. Crims, flip reset, lovely lift, and oh, it should be home from Frostbite. Misses the target, and Nickel now with a runaway over to Tater. That's a lovely interception. Challenge and Crims. Oh, I thought it was going to be saved by Miracle, but it always favored Crims with that front bumper doing the heavy lifting.
And may have been later on in the time elapsed. But going to the weight room, Crims wins out on that challenge ever so slightly, and that's all it takes. Finally, Mizzou find their first of the game. Plenty of time, just over half of it left to find another, and they may have just gotten a free gift, but Nickel was waiting on the goal line. Now look at the counter, Tater with a double chance denied by Crims. Back out to the midfield line where Miracle is waiting, low boost, but no problem. Exodia, however, gets another clear as Mizzou look for that passing lane, but they're not quite getting it just yet.
There's Nickel. Second touch, he spends a lot of boost, all the boost. Buys a lot of time at that as well. OCU, press, destroyed by Crims. And Nickel had to navigate his way around the respawning teammate. Oh, Calamity in the air. That's a chance, and Tater whips it. What about Miracle on target? But the two players is enough. Tater flapping around like a Magikarp in the ocean.
They're trying to just stop Mizzou from getting this clear. They're so discombobulated themselves. Exodia with a touch on the sidewall. It's a giveaway to Miracle, but there's no help. Demo to He goes Tater. That was the shot. But Frostbite with a good demo now has to make a save aside as Exodia stacked up in the corner. Somebody's got to decide who's going, who's staying. They do. Crims with a double chance. Doesn't connect. Exodia picks up the pieces, but is sent away by Nickel there. Carry through the corner. Time ticking down. Mizzou trying to deny a Game 5 trip, but it's all in their own hands here as Crims goes far side. Big challenge, but Nickel pulls it away.
Clown contest over. The only thing that'll be funny now and putting smiles on faces is that all-important win. The Mizzou Esports, no smiles here. Still down by what? 60 seconds left. Game 5 awaits if they don't find a response. And Exodia has to lift this up away like the summoned skull, willing a lightning strike from one of his teammates down the other end of the pitch so that he doesn't have to do any of this more defensive work. Again, forced into the press, loses out. And as are Mizzou Esports with 40 seconds remaining.
Everyone was on the run to start this sequence. Tater waiting. Second shot. It's saved by Nickel. Third shot. Crims. 1, 2, 3. It takes all of Mizzou to find a goal. But all that matters is they've tied it with 35 to play.
The big mistake is Tater. Why pre-jump? Why pre-jump? You've got the boost to react. You've got the time to react. And yet puts his teammates in a horrible position, in an equalizing position for Mizzou Esports. And now the wave, the tides are behind them. Backboard, Exodia wins the challenge, but that's thrown away by OCU, who will be happy to see OT.
It's a big problem, though. Mizzou are still relevant. Exodia shouldn't have been allowed to win that challenge in the first place, and now they're building up the pressure. Double off the back wall. Frostbite takes a shot. It's into the bar. You had the demo and a Miracle. That had to be the chance, but Exodia once more. Quick flip reset, trying to send it far side, and does, but it'll get cleared one last time. Do they play for OT? They may not have a choice, but it goes off the ceiling and right into the hands of Frostbite. Now sent midfield again. Exodia back wall, trying to pick it up before it gets there, and they don't. But it was okay. The shot was not there. Extra time, game 4.
Third man just a little bit too far behind. OCU, I said they were going to be happy to see OT because, again, they've ruled these kickoffs and they're camped in the blue up and now, but that is a real secretive touch from Exodia. But here's Nickel on target. Crims the save, up and away. big bump on Miracle. Down the other end, Tater, Crim's challenges, neutral, favors Exodia, who's onto the scene, heads that to the backboard. Nickel with a save registered, Crim's right back into the center, Frostbite up, and Tater with a big save for himself now.
You can see how fast Mizzou are moving towards these challenges, but they've got to be careful to hit the ball when they need to. Crim's off the sidewall, big demo on a Miracle, it's center, it's 2-0, Crim's with the dagger of the series. Mizzou Esports, they win in the quarterfinals. It's another 3-1 result against all the trials and tribulations and question marks that we had posed to them. The answer, Mizzou Esports, series win.
And they maintain that record, Galgan. They still have failed to drop more than 2 games. To be fair, they weren't expected to drop any games in this one, so credit to OCU. But you could tell that as much as they worked their way into the series and found a lot of great moments, when Mizzou started to turn up more and more, they really cracked under the pressure. And I think no more so than that moment where Tater's upfield. There is a challenge potentially, but do you really want to risk the entire back line through a countermeasure if you miss? And Nickel, as good as they were, that was the wrong choice. But these are young lads and ladies, Galgan. You know, there's a lot of learning to be done. It's a big mental game, Rocket League, and sadly on this occasion, they didn't have the mental steel to resist.
But hats off to them. They played against a fiery Mizzou squad that knew how to play fast. They just needed to find that click within them, and they did as the series progressed. It took a little bit of trial and error in game 1. We saw plenty of double and triple commits and whatnot, but I really like what I saw from Mizzou towards the end, because it was something where in the middle of the series, I said, I believe that Mizzou have that next step. And they did. They just had to give each other a bit more space, a bit more faith that they'd win those challenges. OCU let them take those favorable challenges. And as a result, Mizzou brings this series over the line. It's a great performance from them, and they'll certainly look to continue it in the rest of the playoffs.
Semi-finals for them. We'll see just how far they go, but from the Great Plains, we must explore elsewhere in this wondrous land of NECC playoffs. That's it from me, but I believe you're sticking on for the next one, Mr. Galgan, and what you're going to be seeing is Kennesaw State. They're going up against Juniata College. They'll see you after this.
Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here and we are live yet again. Little NECC Mid-East action coming at you. I'm at the Tugboat. Here with me is Galgan. Galgan, how are we feeling on the day?
Feeling fantastic. We just saw Mizzou take that 3-1 series win in their quarterfinals bout, but we moved from the Great Plains to the Mid-East. Still sticking with champions and some very solid rosters here, but it's time for another quarterfinal matchup. Kennesaw State versus Juniata College. This is bound to be a good one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We got the number 1 seed over here, Kennesaw State, for Mid-East B, Mid-East B Conference, and then Mid-East A, number 4, Juniata College. That's the Eagles coming out, trying to make their presence known a little bit here, Galgan. And I got to say, how these two teams got here, it's got to be very, very different across this regular season.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at that Kennesaw State roster and talk about how they got here. They were 5-1 in the regular season. Their only loss to the Cumberland Phoenix. Obviously, a big roster building school over there. But if we take a look at who we've got, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise as to who's playing on Kennesaw State. If you've been watching CRL League play, you'll know it's Flitz, Parson, and TNT. They did go 5-10 over there in the semester, so not the greatest result. But as far as NECC is concerned, they are the top dogs in the Mideast.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just try to tell that to Cumberland Phoenix. Yes, the only loss they took during that regular season. Taking a look at Juniata now. Once again, folks, is the number 4 seed coming out of Mid-East A. There's the Eagles over here. Holland 14, Wren, and Unknown Route. Unknown Route right here. This is a squad. They went 3-3 across this regular season. That's how they got here, of course. There was just, tiebreaker went to them over another college. Help me out, Gogan.
Robert Morris University.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Robert Morris right there. This is a Juniata College Eagles squad that started out 0-3 as well, but the comeback, as we know, Gogan, is real.
Absolutely. It is so real, and we'll have to see. Early indications would think that a comeback would have to be possible in this particular series. I don't expect Kennesaw State to get out to a relatively slow start, but it is on Juniata to prove those expectations wrong, get an early going in this series. We saw it in the last one as well with Oklahoma City University. They took a little bit to warm into it, grabbed game number 2. State right now, but my vision could quickly be averted if the wrong things go their way.
That's entirely fair. Entirely fair. Well, we have our underdogs. We have our favorite teams just based on previous performances and whatnot. Coming up for it, Flitz almost starts this one off with a bang, Gogan.
Follow through here, out into the corner. We'll see how quickly Kennesaw want to try and play this matchup. Juniata College, meanwhile, on the other hand, trying to batten down the hatches. You've got plenty stacked up towards the goal line to begin with, and it's only 30 seconds in. You've seen a couple of chances already for Kennesaw State. No score, but they're looking quite hungry here to get going as early as they can.
Absolutely. Kennesaw State spending the lion's share of their time so far. This offensive third as of right now. An Unknown Route's trying to make that one a non-factor right here. Double demo across the middle. Now a little 2v2 action for just a couple of seconds, Gogan.
It's a pretty big switch from what the previous series was. We had early goings, plenty of goals both ways. Flitz tries to deliver as such, and Parson makes a dent in that near post. Not going to go for the goal, but not for a lack of trying for Kennesaw State. Juniata, however, a pickoff here. Flitz able to catch at the bottom corner.
Nicely done. Like you said, just barely able to take that bottom corner, foist this one out, keep this one still a tied scoreless game. Nice hit there from Parson. The pass to Flitz off the ceiling. Requires 2 defenders on that one just to block that. Well-placed shot away. Flitz again, but a huge takeaway from Unknown Route. Ball going the other way now. Possession changed.
It's great foresight there from the Kennesaw State offense, but they've got to watch themselves. They spend that small amount of time on offense, and then Juniata comes screaming back, looking for 2 or 3 chances of their own. Again, another opening shot goes by the wayside for Kennesaw, but Flitz trying to pick up the pieces and create another chance. Beautiful challenge out from underneath. Wren, beautiful defensive work. TNT goes for the waterfall spot, not to be, but the last defender is demoed, and Flitz has a surefire goal.
Can't call it surprise when you're looking at Flitz, who has 7 shots. That is, of course, more than twice as the amount the rest of the players, TNT, Parson, Ren, Unknown Route, and Holland, have accrued up to this point. This is the Flitz show. We are just temporarily renting time in it.
Honestly, if anybody in this lobby was to have their own show, you'd back it to be Flitz, trying to become a personality over the course of this semester and honestly owning it at every single step. I'm sure Kennesaw are happy with how they've done thus far in the NECC, but again, they gotta watch themselves. Juniata getting sneaky with it. All they gotta find is the accuracy to boot.
Flitz with the flick right there, not gonna find pay dirt this time as we remain at a 1-0 score line. Still a lot of pressure here against Juniata. A nice clear. Flitz, that's Ren just parking the bus right there. No need to move on that one. Right place, right time, and a right angle. But TNT continuing on this offensive onslaught. Nice little hit right here as Flitz tries to challenge. This one popping up across the middle, and that's actually going to be TNT losing it. Parson, the last player back here, still going to recover it. But Juniata possibly setting up something beautiful.
It's great for Juniata because they're able to pick up boosts. You don't really consider them to be stranded defensively, but spacing-wise, it's been a little tough. They haven't always had the second person in line in the rotation ready to meet the challenge that Kennesaw have, and that allows the passing lanes to formulate very quickly. Double commit, but oh no, Flitz takes the ball away from TNT. That opportunity seemed sure and locked in, but Kennesaw State will have to try again.
Geez, a little 4-on-2 right here against Kennesaw State. Brutal takeaway right there. That was about as good a setup as we have seen outside of that one goal thus far. A minor mistake, and Kennesaw State will not put a second one onto these boards. At least not yet. 90 seconds or so to go. Juniata College only down by 1. That's no real lead indeed. Great game of Rocket League, Gogan.
It is not, indeed. We'll have to see what they can do. It's all on them. Parson with a challenge here from the side wall, forced upon. A couple of players pull off this ball. Now Ren wants it from the side, but thought they had a bit more time to the plate. TNT does a whole lot out of the corner just to get this one cooking again for Kennesaw with 60 seconds to play. Flitz with a robbery off the side. No ground pinch to be found. Ren will have a lot of work to do to clear this one away, though.
Speaking of, Parson picking this one up, getting credited with the save as this one was on point, forcing hands of defenders. Never a bad thing, Gogan. Unknown route, back pass here onto TNT. Ren right there. Now Ren lurking. A couple of Kennesaw State players in the middle, but there's nobody there from Juniata College to even ring the door, whether or not somebody was going to open it. Okay, so a wasted opportunity right here from Juniata, and they don't have much more time to waste any more of those.
Flitz tries to stall this one from going the other way. Too strong on the attack in the corner, but they're not going to find anything. Parson with a big clear connects to TNT. 1-2 between blue cars. A nice little interruption there from Holland. It goes far corner, but right back where it came from, or so help me, says Flitz. Ren off the back wall. It's only one goal they have to find, but they're in a world of hurt to try and bring it from the back of their zone. Ren, nice redirect. That's the pop you want, but nobody able to get to the ball faster than Kennesaw themselves. A quick 1-0 decision here.
Yeah, I gotta say, how do I feel after that game one? I feel vindicated. We basically said it right there. We talked plenty about Flitz, we talked plenty about what this player can do, and we talked about the slight edge that Kennesaw State had coming into this matchup, and that is shown with the math right here, 1-0. Not for lack of trying, like you said, but when you have Ren, Unknown put up 3, Parson on their own side put up 3, and Flitz put up 10, it's almost surprising this wasn't a larger margin. I'm not talking about like a 5-0 blowout or anything else like that, but 2 or maybe like a 2-1, 3-2, something like this with more points on these boards.
And I think after considering the fact that so much offense was generated by Kennesaw State, you have to give credit to the defense of Juniata College, not just for making the saves, but for moving the ball quickly out of the zone and thus keeping that game at a 1-0 score line. But at the end of the day, Kennesaw State, they are not infallible. They certainly have their weaknesses. All of that first game, however, anytime someone from Kennesaw State had the ball in their possession, you were pretty sure they knew exactly where they needed to go. And that's something that Juniata really have to work to interrupt in order to give themselves a fighting chance.
Frequently these higher levels as well, Gogan. We're talking about which team was going to win based on how many mistakes they capitalize on the other side. Kennesaw State, as you mentioned, not a perfect game throughout this one right here, and this is just going to be about Juniata bringing this one back a little bit by capitalizing on the mistakes they failed to. Game number 1. Game 2 starting now.
We'll have to see how it transpires. 5 more minutes on the clock. It's a best of 5. Again, we don't get to that elusive best of 7 until we make the finals, but only one of these teams has a chance at just that, and Juniata certainly feel like they could be punching up towards that destination, but it's all in their hands. It's all in its opportunity. Great shot from Unknown to open things up. But what do you do from here now that you've got Kennesaw State on the back foot? Try to look for more.
Absolutely. You find a corner on the ground, you look for more because there might be plenty more where that one came from. Parson almost walks the dog on into this one, trying to get ball to TNT, who now has possession. Holland with a weird hit. This one's sent back on over the right corner. Nice second hit there from Unknown route as Holland. Nice flip over the middle, but Parson took advantage of this one in one, but a decent clear right here. That's going to be a fantastic clear from downtown. Juniata taking the lead in game number 2.
Absolutely has to be a goal. TNT pre-flips that one before Parsons even delivered the ball, and Flitz is too far forward from the midfield line. It's a recipe for disaster for Kennesaw State, and they'll be fortunate that it only counts for 1 goal. But Juniata College, meanwhile, on the other hand, first goal of the series, first lead of the series, checking off all those boxes. All they need is the game win.
Absolutely. Bring this one back to a tied series. Basically make a best of 3 out of best of 5. Unknown route across the corner. Parson. Nice clip right here as TNT comes up for it. That's a decent angle and force of play. That's an even better clear. Mike, is that a ground pinch?
Looked very close to it, but the point still stands. The transition game from Juniata College is so solid tonight. It seems like they can't be stopped.
Yeah, if we're talking about market improvements, well, the conversation can only be had by Juniata so far. Kennesaw State isn't playing poorly. They're just simply playing the same game they showed us in game number 1. A lot of Parson, a lot of Flitz. TNT more taking that middling role as of right now. Parson coming up for this one. What an angle! And gonna nail this one in to get Kennesaw State on the board.
That is a shot taken by a player who's confident in the angle before they've even drawn it up. Beautiful shot there right under the bar, but that is the venom that Kennesaw State can strike with on offense. That Juniata College, they'll be happy to get the save away, get their counterattack going, but when you face a team as offensively confident as Kennesaw State, you've got to be ready for those quick shots to go right on target.
An owl with the capability to produce venom and bite people, that is truly nightmare material. Here we go. They're already silent when they fly, okay? What more do we need to give them? 3 minutes and 20 seconds left right here. Holland across the middle, nice hit. A little bit more on point, would have forced a couple of hands here on the defender's side, but Unknown route doing a good job keeping this one centered. Or for them, I should say.
Yeah, at least it makes, a good amount of sense with both mascots getting as airborne as possible, but not a whole lot of airtime needed for this one. It's just a quick strike right down the line. Parson beats 2, and that in and of itself is enough to score, but a quick jump to the angle before your last line of defense can react, and all of a sudden we're tied again.
Tied indeed. Here we go again. We're looking at a 1-0 game in game number 1. Now 3 minutes left to go here. Not even halftime. We got 4 times as many. Board. TNT, last player back, goes to the clear, concise defensive stop. Flitz trying to win this one out and does. 50 goes their way. Parson, the left corner here. You can basically see the comms flying through the air for Parson, Flitz, and TNT. Till Rin, there's a monkey wrench into the plans. Holland with a bouncing ball. Juniata takes the lead back.
I held my breath for a second there. Wasn't quite sure if it tapped just wide, but 3-0 again. Kennesaw State, they buy too heavily into the offense, throw everyone forward because they are that confident that it will work. But Juniata College, they've already got a strong counterattack. Even if it's not a 3-0, you give them that chance, they are going to score.
Yeah, swing for the fences on that one every single time. Love the confidence. Love the confidence and willingness to always get into the offensive third, but as you said, got to leave a player back as Juniata College has simply figured out the clearing game.
2:20 to play. Flitz trying to score a worldie here. We'll just pass it off to Parson, who has that crossbar picked out, but it's saved aside. Ren credited, and now back the other way go Juniata. It's Ren with a shot on target. Almost found the gap. Beautiful placement, but a save aside from Flitz. Now TNT with a chance, but back and forth we go. Still 2 minutes of time left.
Yeah, it's the clears and it's the conversion from defense and offense so quickly. I mean, obviously, going to be easier when you have this bouncing ball traversing half the pitch with a single hit, but Juniata is doing everything that they need to, again, in that conversion game, to always get from defense and offense quickly and vice versa. Nice shot blocked away, though, by Ren.
You can tell how fast Parson can play. TNT now double chance, just leaves it to Flitz, and they found their way through the maze. 3-3, and still so much left to be seen.
Yeah, so taking a look at the numbers, Mason. TNT without a shot on, but got a save and the assist here as well. 5 shots from Parson this time. Flitz only putting up 2. That is a 1-4-2. Throwing a couple assists and a couple save. Flitz, once again, really shining bright.
Again, that's that 3-headed Hydra that Kennesaw State can be, as if they, again, needed to be any more threatening than they already were as the Owls that they so are. Parson now, back pass to the corner, may have backfired, but a save aside on the goal line. Now TNT jumps early, but Unknown was on that pre-jump solid. Flitz now, a pass center, finds the hands of Holland, but sent back by Parson. Double, Kennesaw State trying to throw a little bit of confusion in the way of the back wall. Not quite resulting in anything yet, but an open net, and Parson whiffs.
Not something we're going to see frequently. Another shot here. I don't know how many shots Kennesaw State has put up in the past 30 seconds because I can't count that high. Go get another one right here for Kennesaw State.
If we could count that high, I'm sure we'd be doing something else other than casting Rocket League. That's kind of where we all end up going. But it's Kennesaw State with 4. It's a goal that you feel was coming with 52 to play. We've got a pause of sorts, it would seem, potentially on my end. You'll have to help me out here, Tugboat.
Yeah, not a problem. Flitz with a wide open, low, slow roller is Unknown. Route's going to block that one on. We lost a little bit of connection right there, guys. Should we go to a break or should we try to radio cast this? Because, got it. So we're going to go to a short break. Last couple seconds, that was Kennesaw State putting up another one. So we have 35 seconds, 5-3. Be right back, guys. Sorry about that. Welcome back, folks. Just a short little conundrum right there. It's all fixed out. We're starting game 3 right now. Unfortunately, you guys got to miss the almost comeback for Juniata. That was a 5-4 game number 2. A 0-1 in game 1, a 5-4 game number 2. But the score difference remains the same, Gogan.
Yeah, it's a little bright spot. Yes, you can call it that. But we've got the tale of 2 tapes in the first 2 games, and unfortunately for Juniata College, neither of those tapes revealed a game win in their favor. So reverse sweep to keep their playoff hopes alive. Meanwhile, Kennesaw State try and get a sweep of their own here in game number 3.
Absolutely. This previous game was kept close, not single-handedly, but in large part due to the efforts of Ren. 5 shots and 5 saves. Crazy stuff coming out from Ren of Juniata College. Speaking of, Ren, there's a hit over to the left side, really to nobody. Tried to pick it up themselves. TNT there, a centering shot, getting under this one, really just kind of lurking for the danger factor right here. Just keeping Kennesaw State on their toes.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of reactions being made rather than proactive play, but now you see the switch that Kennesaw State have the ball. Everybody's trying to read exactly where it's going to end up. Flitz pulls off, maybe calculated as Parson goes far side. TNT finds the angle. It felt very thin, but there's the shot through.
Yeah, so this perfectly slotted from Parson. Only so much that unknown route can do, and there's just so much net to his left as he's coming out there. Shooter's right, of course, but still slotted it perfectly on that left side. 3:52 to go. Kennesaw State back in the lead.
In the ascendancy, if there ever was an opportunity for them to do so. They've got the lead in the series, in the game, everything in their favor, but what can Juniata do? We talk so much about how their counterattacks look very solid, early opportunities as soon as they get the chance to shoot. They put a threatening one on target, but you want to see more from neutral play. You want to see those second, third, fourth chances, passing plays deep into the blue zone. Kennesaw State, for the most part, have it locked down defensively after that.
Flitz up top, and Flitz with a great job putting this one back on into the corner, staving off danger for just a couple of seconds. Followed that up with a demo and unknown route. Now back. Perfect transition from defense and offense, Gogan.
Flitz, pass out to Parson. It forces two up into the sky, but TNT's a bit too far away to make it count immediately. Kennesaw State, however, will be happy to recycle this ball from the middle of the field. Parson again jumps. Holland, nice jump there in shadow to block it aside. Ren with a solid lead. Here is the counter, but Ren can't get enough of a piece of it. Low boost play, demoed for the efforts, and Kennesaw State come back the other side.
Yeah, I've been saying Ren has a full tank. That play would end up differently, and I'm not going to say what it is, but you see 6 players lining up after that. Flitz right here, down to the bottom. Parson tries to pick this up with a weird backflip onto it. Easily cleared out there from Ren. TNT looking to get something explosive, going past the middle, and nobody is home to answer the door.
That's the problem, though. Flitz and Parson committed together to the sequence, and Juniata couldn't find a clear. Now Parson down off the back wall gets a save. Flitz, nice touch. Again, those two in lockstep, and TNT left to pick up the pieces here for Kennesaw State, but not too many pieces for them to have to pick up. They've burnt a whole lot of time off this clock with no change in the scoreline, and they've won a game at 1-0 before. Nobody's saying they can't do it again.
Very true. It would just be almost a statistical anomaly to go from 0-1 to 5-4 back on over to 0-1, but that's as it stands as of right now. Personally, my favorite type of Rocket League game, 0-1. 0-1. It's very, very close.
I feel like I'd have to go the exact opposite. You know, it's obviously nice to see defenses play very well, but more goals means more chances for more amazing highlight reel plays. Not that the defense doesn't win championships, but the offense can be spectacular in these games. Well, 90 seconds to play, and unfortunate passes out to TNT. Holland has enough time to save it aside. Juniata, here's your golden opportunity.
Yeah, so Ren right here, always dangerous presence to be had. Flitz just playing some great handball over there and keeping this possession away. Nice pass. That's not fully on point, but Flitz was ready to redirect this one perfectly. TNT off the ceiling right here. As Parson goes for the back pass, kind of loses that 50 a little bit. Flitz has to play this one, pops it up, and only player there to make an offensive play was Ren. Now on the other side of the ball. Still some offensive pressure here. It's Flitz, Parson combined for right side corner hit. Unknown Reed going to try and pick up some boost along the way, and it's Holland now with the tiebreaker.
And that feels justified. It feels justified for Juniata. The playbook had been revealed a couple of seconds ago by Kennesaw State. They were happy to sit on this 1-0 lead. The back pass from Parson was questionable at best, and then the follow-through from Juniata is just the result of the pressure that they get off of that play. They're able to equalize, but the job's not done just yet.
100% agreed right there. Parson with the back pass set up this entire scoring offense that came forth, produced this tie. Can't quite count chickens before they hatch. That's what they say back home in South Carolina.
Counting owls and eagles, however, fair game as Juniata tries to find some more friendly eagles in the sky. Unknown takes to them. Holland has to make a big jump. Flitz has a nice shot opportunity. Ren can only save it for so long, but gets the angle right. 15 to play. Another challenge at the sidewall. Chance for two to jump at the same time from Kennesaw State. Flitz still gets a shot off. Holland with a save. Here goes Ren the other way, but blocked by Parson. Could waterfall down. Unknown doesn't deal with it, and Flitz could have delivered the series dagger right here.
Wow, yeah, 3 seconds to go. Some kind of miracle off a kickoff right here, and Ren gets nothing more than a front row seat to watch the tiebreaker. The tiemaker earlier, the tiebreaker now, and some fancy footwork required from Juniata to stay in this one.
High pop from Holland, and TNT buries it into the ground. Kennesaw State, they win every game by 1 goal, but the more important part, they won every game. It's a sweep to see Kennesaw State into the semifinals.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the time for the classic stereotypical caster saying, which, yes, the series is 0-3, but it was way closer than the numbers show. That's 100% true here. A 5-4 game, and game number 2, again, almost seeming like an anomaly. Doesn't matter. Still a 1-score difference. Game 1, game 2, game 3. Juniata, this could have very, very easily been a 3-1 or even possibly a 3-2, but that's an alternate timeline that I'm speaking of right now.
Right, I think that is the most important part. Juniata always had that fight back. They had moments where they clearly had the advantage in counterattacks, sometimes off of the kickoffs as well, but it just didn't add up when it mattered most. Again, you can only call a series close so many times before you start making the argument that they should have won it. Kennesaw State played some fantastic Rocket League tonight.
Yes, they did. 100%. Ren, Unknown Route, Holland, all can go to bed tonight knowing that they put forth a great performance in Rocket League here tonight, but this is the playoffs, and this is the way that one is going to go. Taking a look up next for our we're changing conferences, right? We're moving around a little bit, right?
I believe so. We've got our next matchup. We've got 2 matches still to go. 9 p.m. match is going to be SWOSU Blue versus Texas Tech White. We have plenty more Rocket League to be had, though, at the other side of this break. So stick with us. More NECC quarterfinal action after this short break.
Hello and welcome back. We are here. We are back. We're live. The NECC. We were on the Mid-East earlier. Now South Central. I'm FBI Tugboat here with my man Bearlight. Bearlight, glad to have you with us.
So glad to be here, Tugboat. Ready for some playoff action. Obviously, that's when things get heated. That's when I feel like the best Rocket League is being played.
Absolutely. We started off today with Missouri taking that 3-1 victory, followed up with a 3-0 series, but they're all one-score differences, so I think it's okay. I think I'm justified in saying that it was closer than the series score says. That was a 3-0 there for the side of Kennesaw State over Juniata, and these players are already getting this one going. So we got SWOSU Blue taking on Texas Tech White. Texas Tech White, 5-1, coming on in from the B side of the South Central playoffs. SWOSU? Is that what we're saying here?
SWOSU? We can. Yeah, absolutely.
SWOSU it is. SWOSU it is. Gotcha. That's 5-1 SWOSU coming in from the A side. Let's get this one in and going. These players were just so ready to play here, Bearlight.
They're eager to get on the pitch, and I don't blame them either, right? When it's do or die, you want to just, it's not get it over with, but it's more so like, let's get into it, right? Let's experience this. Let's get our vibes right, so that way when we're working later into the series, we'll have something to be proud of, and obviously you want a hot start here because in the first round it's a best of 5 overall.
Yeah, but a win here will purchase you a best of 7 situation in their next competition. Always better to have a little bit more leeway, a little bit more wiggle room to get something going. Slasher almost gets this one in and early. I'm not going to call it open net, but decently so. Across the middle, that's Drip now draining this one to the right side, almost taking this one down as Kobe.
Chancho is able to just keep that at an arm's reach. She'll leave it for a teammate. 2 to the corner they'll go. And Drip is eyeballing teammates down the field. Looking to bounce it back to Drip. Ability to hit off the ceiling and a mistouch, or no touch at all really. As Texas Tech, now Tech Esports, looking to turn it in. It's a great touch past 1. Looking for available options. The tap down is available, but they get to it. A great defensive play by RL rather. As SWOSU looks to play a little bit of defense, keep it away, but right now they're looking to turn it back. It's been pretty back and forth to kick things off.
Yeah, that's fair. The ball really has not spent a whole lot of time in the middle part of this pitch. Slasher getting way too far ahead. That one's inside, though, as Kobe takes the aerial pass. 1-0, SWOSU Blue.
And that's been effective so far. Slash just kind of playing it deep and behind the defense where they're not able to react in time. And I believe he thought it was going to waterfall down there, but either way, you leave it for a teammate, so it works out nonetheless. Even though your read isn't there, you set it up in the first place. So you're not off the scoreboard. You still get that assist. Kobe looking to make things even tougher for Texas Tech as they'll keep the pedal on here and they'll play some offensive time. Opportunity from Kobe. Waits back, and the touch actually is going to mess up a teammate, and Drip gets a shot off, a little bit wide of the mark, but Hellfrost to follow it through. And Tech Esports will equalize here with 2:28 left.
Yeah, that was Hellfrost on this one. Drip got an attempted pass earlier. Kobe, the only other one with an attempted pass. 3 attempted pass, 2 goals thus far. Defense is really showing strong so far, Bearlight.
Certainly have. Answered back each way.
Oh, dear.
They're off the kickoff right when it's spoken. Fortunately, they let you down. And right up the kickoff as well.
Just shut down defense, dude. Just shut down defense. Texas Tech can't let anything through. Right off a kickoff. This happens, folks. We're laughing a little bit, but this does happen. 2-second goal earlier. SWOSU Blue maintains this lead after just a couple of seconds in a different situation.
Texas Tech looking to get right back at it, though. Kickoff, and that'll go a little bit high off that opportunity, but I like where the brain's at from Chancho. At least put that one close to target and get them thinking about it. Speaking of thinking about goals, it's SWOSU. Right back to it. That one off the back wall, but it will not elude the last man back. It's Drip. Drip will leave it for a teammate. Hellfrost as well will have to rotate back as Chancho's left in an peculiar opportunity and position there. Eventually they will get back to it, and that'll launch it off this side wall. And Chancho takes a shot here, but a good read there from Kobe to clean things up.
There he goes. Go right there on the previous one. Astro Boy getting up to it, immediately meeting him there as a teammate. Try and take this one out from the corner, and Kobe kind of messes up the dribble right there and gives over possession for right now. Hellfrost in a great position. Little bouncing play. Kobe's got to play this one from down bottom. And a low, slow, bouncing roller almost yields a lot more danger than it was really worth. Right side now, Texas Tech trying to get this one back to the middle. Astro giving 50s and losing them. Chonko goes for the shot. Forcing hand at defender, never a bad thing here, Bearlight.
No, it's not. And Kobe hasn't had a bad challenge yet. Hasn't been in a position that's difficult to handle defensively. I like what Kobe's been doing. And in fact, right on cue, he's going to try to keep it away from this offense. He's been having their opportunities, and I wouldn't say that they've really let them go by the wayside. It's just they've had answers every time, but not here, as Hellfrost will eventually break through, and in a timely manner with 50 seconds left to equalize.
Nicely done. Came at a fantastic time. Only a little bit left for this squad to have played with. We're back to a 2-2 tied scoreline. Basically a 60-second drill, and our score difference is 0. Winning this one off the beginning, though, Swasu Blue. And just a single player from Texas Tech, Chonko right there, kind of throwing the wrench into the plans and immediately pays for that aggravation with their lives. Back on the pitch now, though. Kobe. Nice clear right here, sends it all over to the other corner and trying to pick this up. Chonko, a little Kobe Chonko action. Kobe gets it past one, not the second.
It'll be up to the last man back in, Slash to make that save. And Slash did a good job of handling it. The freshman here with the junior and senior respectively will get into the lineups here momentarily, but right now we're pushing towards overtime, unless somebody can end it here with a 0-second goal, but Chancho gets in the way. That'll open a door here for Swasso as Asher tried to play it back towards, but nobody was there to follow. Off the back wall it goes, and a bit of a mishandle here, a double commit, but Asher goes backwards with it. It'll elude Slash, and we do have ourselves overtime in game one.
Yeah, last bounce right there, kept the ball alive as long as they could, but OT in game numero uno. It's my birthday here, Bearlight. Love to see this.
Hey.
Love to see this.
Putting on a show for you, a little bit of a party for you.
Absolutely. Is it? I was actually born on New Year's Day. Is it my birthday? That'd be cool if it was my birthday, though.
I was about to say, that's crazy. Well, happy early birthday, I suppose.
Thank you, sir.
He's got another one, though. Kobe, looking to maybe tap it down. Got the flip reset, but denied instantly as they didn't want to see what Kobe can do up in the air. They challenged it quite quickly. This will be held to the corner. It's Asher leaves it for Slasher shot taken. A far side post. Kobe has to rotate around it, but does a great job to hold into this offensive zone.
Astro, nice pickup right here. Flipping, twisting into this one, and just a little bit of a redirect is enough from the defense to send this shot harmless. Now jumping up to it, Slasher couldn't quite get a handle onto this one, and now Texas Tech trying to run it up the side until a nice takeaway from Astro Boy, almost completely assuming that offensive form was this Texas Tech squad. That almost came back, bite them in the behind.
Slasher waits back, plays it very conservatively, and you can do that when you trust your teammates up front. You can tell he's got a lot of trust, and why not? Because Kobe's been so good. This will bounce right back in front at the top of the box, but Hellfrost happened to be in the right spot. Now turns it to at an open cage, but he was bumped just off it, and a wise play from Astro to kick him off it.
Big boost in hand, but it's going to have to be Chonko, the last player back. This is decently on point. If that was a little bit faster, we'd have seen the end of overtime. Now, both Swasu Blue players just flipping for this one without much direction. Now back to the middle, and Swasu just kind of gives up the offensive pressure that they'd gotten this part. That's a really, really good clear and forcing hands. Now an even better one here from Hellfrost, and Swasu Blue now on the defense.
Chopping at it is Hellfrost. Instead, didn't get much of it, so just left it for a teammate in drip. But it's Slash to get back on it, too. This will bounce down in front. Nobody there. Good touch away from Kobe to be in the right spot. Now in transition. Looks for it. Tries to tap it across, but a good read from Chancho. Or Chancho actually got demoed off of it. A good read from their teammate to keep it out. Slasher trying to turn. Off the corner he'll go. Gets that extra touch, but Hell was ready for it. Kobe turning. Astro again off this corner, launches it high, looking for the far side post, but it will be shut down again as this Tech defense continues to just show up, but they'll have to do it again, just missed by the offensive Swosu.
Yeah, so that was Slasher, I believe, that came through, really got some solid pressure on, but I mean, that was offensive players looking like they're just like drawing circles in the corner with how long they stayed there. The offensive stance. Now up to it, Slasher, left side. Easy pickup here off the teammates attempted 50, left this one neutral. Slasher showing off what they can do in the air, but all for naught as Chonko just kind of sits there, waits, and methodically picks it up.
Man, ticking up to basically 3:30 into this overtime, and nobody wants to give up a goal. We talked about the stellar defenses. Obviously, there's been a couple of mishaps from time to time, but otherwise they've been pretty shut down. That's the reason why. It's Kobe. He's able to jump out in front of this hell. A good passing play, the shot, it fakes him. It's Chancho to get on the board, and Tech Esports to get on the board as well. A 1-0 lead in the series.
Well, an 8.5-minute Rocket League game ends in feet and tears. If you're SWOSU Blue, that is. Texas Tech snatching victory here in game number 1 in this best-of-5 series. And this is off the back of just continued offensive pressure from everybody on Texas Tech. 8 total shots distributed just about as evenly as you can. Drip with 2 saves and only a single shot themselves. Still had an assist right there, but playing more of that back position. Hellfrost, Chonko, 3 or 4 shots respectively right there, with a save, with assist, and with at least 1 goal apiece. There's a Texas Tech squad that is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, they certainly are. They got off to a great and fantastic start here, too. And I guess we'll get to meet the teams as well here between games. So let's pull up those rosters now, see, get to know the players a little bit better. Obviously, you got to see a name, but we want to put a little bit of a story behind that name as well as we check out the 2 teams. Starting with SWOSU is what we call them, Southwestern Oklahoma State. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short, but I do like what Kobe was all about. Definitely running the show, running the table, as it were, until the very end there.
Yeah, and Texas Tech as well. Both of these teams doing some fantastic stuff. We'll have those player cards and whatnot up for you guys in just a couple of seconds. So you can kind of look at this again. That was Kansas State is the only team that put down the SWOSU Blue squad. Here we go. In that regular season, Emergence Division as well. Kansas State beating them in 3-1 fashion, and it was the very first game of the entire series. That was a lifetime ago when you're talking about Rocket League tournaments, Bearlight.
Exactly. I mean, just to put together and string together that many wins in a row. Sure, a couple were by forfeit, but like if you look at the games that they did play, 3-0 against UTD Orange, 3-0 against Rogers State Blue. This team is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, I've said it better myself. We'll check out Texas Tech in between the next break. It's going to give you guys a little peek inside the squad, how they have performed within the regular season. That is now over, of course. This is postseason, the semifinals. Let's get it going.
Right. Texas Tech got the better of SWOSU, after all, in Game 1. They'll look to build off of that with a strong start. At Astro, trying to get a quicker start here for Southwestern Oklahoma State University. It just, it didn't feel right in overtime. They played a lot more loose, but it's an opportunity. What is saved? Drip, he got to it. And now they launch the other way, but Slasher going to be able to shut it down. But Texas Tech showing more of that shutdown defense.
Absolutely. Slasher, fantastic job. Just what we call it, trigger discipline in Call of Duty or something like that, right? Just waiting to pull. Not already changing position, rotating around right there. And was in the perfect position to play this ball from everywhere except for like the ceiling, basically. Now, backboard out. That's going to be a huge clear for Chonko and Slasher, beating feet down the side with no boost until corner is picked up. 150 right here is trying to get it going with the double tap against the ground. Can't quite get it. SWOSU Blue reads this offense out, like a book.
Yeah, Hellfrost again read by Kobe. And a forced Drip to fall back on it. The shot taken twice. Oh, that went off the bar. And now launched back. Kobe still on this too. Eventually it'll break through where Asher is, but Slasher, no surprise. They're in position. Kobe, maybe should have looked for Slasher there, but he took his shot off regardless. Texas Tech has been handcuffed for the past minute.
Yeah, once again, that was Slasher earlier. It was Chonko here on the other side, playing that ever so important middle position. May not be a lot of shots yielded, may just result in a lot more defensive play. It is 100% necessary for a well-rounded Rocket League team until you have Kobe almost doing everything in a bag of chips himself. Speaking of, Chonko yet again showing up with the man spoken of.
Chonko with the read. I mean, that had 0 reaction time allowed, and yet they came up with it. Well, excellent work. And Astro now left to just try and regroup the troops. You've had all of the pressure right now, but no points to show for it, which could get frustrating, but not for Kobe. Another shot, but Drip again shuts him down.
Nicely done here from Drip. That leak out to the left side right here. Nicely done. Astro Boy just waiting in the wings and waiting for the close this one up. Pass over from Hellfrost. Now Drip picking this one up. Another hit right here as this one goes back to the middle. Slasher picking it up and sending it back on over the other way. Hellfrost burning a lot of boost just to get nothing going. Possession still maintained from the Swasup Blue. And that was such an impressive physical play to shut down the Swasup Blue offense as that was coming. That player was looking for blood.
Yeah, strong-armed him, and now back out, but Astro's got that opportunity. A back wall shot, a little bit high. Follow-up, good way to get in fake from Slasher to keep that possession. But Drip eventually will jump onto it, and it's Astro a couple of times. Left for Kobe. Kobe eyeballing across. There it is. It's still sitting there. Goal
There
line.
you go.
Slasher eventually breaks through. It took him a while, but you felt like they were going to get the first one on the board, and that's exactly what they did.
Took him a while. We're looking at one total shot here for Texas Tech, 9 Swasup Blue. It's Astro Boy 07 now sitting on more of that defensive position with no shots attempted, at least not so far.
That's crazy to me. I can't believe they're that far on the shot count, and perhaps on the scoreboard too. Breaking through at Texas Tech, a blunder and a half here off the kickoff. They just couldn't get organized.
You know what it was? Astro heard me talking about his 0 shots, 0 goals made in. He was like, how about 100% efficiency ratio? How about that, Tugboat?
He really showed you. And showing Texas Tech in the meantime. But they came up for revenge here in this game, too. And
Oh,
again,
boy.
strike. Texas Tech, what is going on? This is not the same team we saw in that game 1.
Yeah, there was something that was discussed past 60, 70 seconds or so for the Swasup Blue squad. They just literally turned this into overtime, or they hit the boost, the nitrous. I don't know what Bear Light, but Swasup Blue playing quantifiably different.
Yeah. Need to find some organization. This is where your captains, your leaders, your coaches come into play. It's quite yet. Obviously, it's not looking good, and not good at all, as that's another blunder, and Slasher's been there to clean up just about every mistake that there's been. I mean, you credit them. If Texas Tech is going to play like this, just go ahead and draw blood.
Yeah, seriously. Slasher getting everything done right here. The first Swasup Blue goal that was unassisted off of the impressive single-handed performance from Slasher. Throw, cap on top, because that's a hat trick.
I can't say enough about the answer, the response here from Southwestern Oklahoma State. They've been calling the bell. I said a first goal would be necessary to really pull them back into this one and feel good, and a 4-0, how about that? I mean, that's just bouncing back with a purpose. And looking to add to it, it's not even like they're taking their foot off the gas. That's something that I mentioned last week, I believe, or a couple weeks ago with you, and it's a pet peeve of mine whenever you do let go after you have a large lead. To see this momentum rolling in, they just not letting Texas Tech breathe, because then you never know. Next game they could come out and really smash. But right now, Southwestern Oklahoma State doesn't look like that's going to be something they allow Texas Tech to do at all.
Yeah, like, I 100% agree with you, Bear Light. If there is more than single-digit seconds left on this clock, and you're up by anything, you really need to play it all the way out, and especially if we're talking about only a one-score difference. That is what Swasup Blues having going right now. Well, this is a rather one-sided affair here, last half of game number 2. And to be fair, partially because Texas Tech realized they're behind, no scores on boards, got to pour it all into offense and try to get something going. And now just changing this donut into a breadstick, right? That is what Texas Tech's main focus is going to be the next 10 seconds. Putting up a goose egg game 2, never a good feeling, especially good night. Kobe finally getting the second.
I feel like Kobe has done a majority of the work in that game 1 and kept it close for Texas Tech and put in their minds the fact that this is not only winnable, but that you can win in this one-sided fashion. Just that level of confidence in the team. And then Slasher came out here and, true to his name, just absolutely slashed through the defense of this Texas Tech team. And it was off kickoffs. It was a bit of sloppy play, but either way you get it done, it's dogs on top for game number 2.
Yes, it is. Very, very high on top. This pack is really, really huddled up right there. 6-0. My goodness. Off of a 3-2 barn burn. Off a 3-2 barn burn that took us 8.5 minutes right there. If you have any insight, let's hear. What exactly changed about either the Swasup Blues offense or the defense of Texas Tech from game 1 to game 2?
So for Swosu, it was clearly night and day as far as how they organize their offensive attack. I preach all the time that it's defense first, and then you can focus on your offense. And they got a shutout, and it worked for them. But I really think their attack was a lot cleaner. Their passes were on point. Texas Tech's defense to kind of play into that side of the affair here just weren't sharp. They weren't for it. Their kickoffs were sloppy, and that was, that partly is, the reason why, Southwestern Oklahoma State was able to do anything in the first place was they were the ones drawing off the kickoffs to begin with. So it's not like Texas Tech they only struggled because of the drawn up plays we saw off the kickoffs. And, every time there was a mistake from Texas Tech, which, to be honest, in game one, it didn't really exist like that. Well, in game two, it was a lot different. And it was just slasher all the way, taking advantage of those and just capitalizing every single second they got.
Yeah, I know it was a hat trick. It might have even been 4 towards the end of this one, but yes, everybody on SWOSU getting on the board in the scoring department in this previous. That was almost a Rule 1 over here on the left side of this pitch right now, but best of 5 series, like we say before, boiled down to best of 3.
That's right. You or die. One team will be on match point, and Astro couldn't get to it. And those are the ones that they capitalized on last game, and right now, if it's a different story, Texas Tech at least fought themselves from going down early in this game 3.
Red Raiders here for Texas Tech. Doing a decent job so far. Not bit the bullet from kickoff mistakes. Not 100% sure what that one was either. Astro Boy maybe just going for defender now. Nice pass down bottom, a little bouncing play, and all 3 members of Texas Tech go for it. Triple commit right here, not gonna end in anything bad. Bouncing. That's Texas Tech for the first time in 6+ minutes, getting on the board.
It much needed. It wasn't exactly pretty. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a good recognition for Drip that nobody was back there from SWOSU Blue, but you don't have to have a pretty one. You just need one on the board. And in your mind, you can score. And watch the next one. Flow. Watch it come in bunches. Here's Texas Tech again on the doorstep. That's Astro jumping out to midfield to try to get a couple of touches. He'll accomplish that, but it goes a little bit wide. Almost was able to carry that one all the way back. This one, a tough read there from Slasher. In fact, he'll actually slash that one away from his teammate instead. And Kobe forced to field this one at midfield. But they do a good job.
Oh!
First goal, it's right back to that defensive blunder.
Yeah, right there. That was Chanko, unfortunately unable to get on to this one, get a handle on it. Really give this a good clear after the backboard pass. 3.5 minutes or so left. Tie ball game. Yeah, if SWOSU Blue's mistake was just not leaving a player back, that was just okay. And another Texas Tech defensive mistake after an absolute stand-up performance.
And it seemed like there were individuals back, but that was just Chencho, again, not getting to the place that he needed to get to on that challenge, and the teammate trusting. And unfortunately, when you break down like that, SWOSU's going to take it to you. And Astro launching back. They never are satisfied with getting the lead. They always want more. But Hellfrost eventually able to shut them down. And the first real Texas Tech defensive play that they can be happy with in the past little bit. So hopefully that's something they can build on here.
We'll see how this goes the rest of it. Game 1 was pretty even. Game 2 was not. And now, again, defensive blunders. This one hits down low. We'll see how this one is going yet again. Yeah, a shot from downtown here from Drip as Astro just can't quite get on top of that. Chanko gets bumped at the last little second right there.
Yeah, that's Drip did not recognize. That was a back pass, right? Drip was passing it back towards Chancho, but you got to recognize that there's one up the field from SWOSU who can just bump him out of the way, and that one's in the back of the net. So an own goal from Texas Tech, as if things weren't going bad enough there on their own half. It happens again. SWOSU will take the free ones. They're up 3-1, looking to head to match point. There you go. Hellfrost able to answer back. That one from the top of the box, too. Had quite the velocity to at least work their way back within one at halftime in this game 3.
63 miles an hour. That's just over 100 kilometers per hour, if I Math is correct.
Yeah,
Perfectly at halftime, and this is right there, 2-3 as of right now. And this is back to our game one's looks, really, Bearlight.
That's right. We've seen these two play into overtime. And in that one, it credited Texas Tech. So they play arguably stronger in the close games if their defense can hold them in long enough. Now a quick answer again. And it just after a few times of not rotating back on defense, you think they would have somebody back consistently. But there, Hellfrost and another late challenge there, and Kobe was able to expose him yet again to take the 2-goal lead back.
Yeah, Texas Tech just completely in the offensive stance right there. Not a shade of a player back to be able to block off just a nice redirect like that. This is a Swallow Blue squad. I mean, what, two of their goals have been that, and then one was an own goal?
That's right.
Again, we talk about like mistakes being capitalized upon. Well, that's Swallow Blue, the school from Oklahoma as of right now.
And you know, I'm really just want to see the consistency of Texas Tech improve. That's why I'm a little bit like down energy right now. It's not that I'm one-sided or like favoring Texas Tech. I really want to see them step up in this game, and I just haven't been able to see it. Yeah, credit in the world to Southwestern Oklahoma State, who's been the better team and more consistent team and is constantly at it. These teams seem pretty even whenever Texas Tech is actually showing up and wanting to play, but right now there's just too many stakes to be happy with if you're a Red Raiders fan.
Yeah, I can agree with that evaluation, Bearlight. We always want close games, and we both know what Texas Tech can do, but I guess the good thing about these mistakes, the blunders, the errors, that they're very obvious and easy to clean up after that point, after being identified.
That's absolutely true. To the corner. It'll be Hellfrost trying to jumpstart anything offensively, and that's a good start here as Strip is going to get it to midfield. Up for it already is Hellfrost. Wasn't able to connect and threw off a teammate as well. That'll leave it in the hands of Swosu. But a good job from Joncho, who we've really criticized as far as being late to challenges. That's a good step in the right direction as he's able to challenge relatively early, but a great passing play. And Swosu showing up with skills on the attack there. It's not just blunders they're taking advantage of, they're also finding team plays too.
Yeah, so like Drip is up there, obviously the primary shooting position. Other two players are really kind of like splitting the difference back behind. They're kind of like nearer to each other, where one's not fully playing the defensive position, one's not fully playing like the next man up striker position, right? Again, more clear defensive mistakes here for Texas Tech, and the best news for them, and you know, not impossible to get 3 scores in 24 seconds, just incredibly unlikely. But the best news for them is that they do have another game here after, of course, taking that game 1 barn winner.
Yeah, that's right. You still have time to figure it out. Oh, there's the rule 1 we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
Stuff eventually comes into reality. See how Texas Tech can do in the 2v2 sense. It's pretty much useless in this game, but you might as well see in this situation. See if you can get one on the board. It is not to be, but perhaps Slasher's got something. He's got a pre-jumper on the other side, trying to hook him up with a fancy play. It'll hit the ground after all. It'll be Southwestern Oklahoma State University Blue up by the 2-1 marking on match point.
Yeah, so this is the postseason lives here of Texas Tech hanging in the balance 2-1, so it's going to be a decently close series either way, right? Both teams taking 1, no sweeps available here, but it is Texas Tech that has really got to get themselves together, especially in that defensive side. Barely, we saw what they can do in game 1. We saw them put up multiple scores right here, off of primarily off of passing plays, and then even in the overtime situation, this was set up all the way, was not given over to them by Swallow Blue. Now here looking, let's hope pressure creates diamonds.
That's right. Your back's against the wall. Where are you going to go? You're going to go home if you don't do anything else, right? And Swosu, credit to them because they're making it difficult. They're playing so consistently that the fact that Texas Tech takes a little bit of a day off here, I would say, or at least a couple games off, if you will. I think game 1, I would argue with you, that it was a pretty solid effort in that game 1. But to take a couple of games off, that's just not something you can do come playoff time. And I think it's been proven over and over again every semester here at the NECC, even more so as so much talent floods into the NECC, that you just have to play and show up on time. And Texas Tech, again, going to take an early lead as they show up on time for game 4.
There you go. Kickoff woes are a thing of the past here at Bearlight. Texas Tech, they like playing from ahead. They want to show it off here in game number 4. A kickoff error from Swallow Blue yields a 1-0 lead right now for Texas Tech very early into this game for match point.
Joe's got a teammate there. Good passing play. Drip again. And Texas Tech showing up. They're waking up a little bit. Hibernation. No longer a thing here for these Red Raiders, at least not in the 11 seconds to kick this one off.
Yeah, so, well, once again, run it back again here. Broken record tugboat. The kickoff woes for Texas Tech are very much a thing of the past. One might even say that's something they're looking forward to now. They're taking 2 goals in 11 seconds, 6.5 seconds apiece or something like that. Hit back down on the middle. Sean Cho puts this one up. Almost own goal there from Slasher. Doesn't matter when Drip is there to save the day.
Yeah, Slasher was handcuffed off that little chip there from Jancho. Just put them in an awkward spot. Had to get a touch. And then eventually all you can do is just jump at it. Try to play it off the post. Do anything you can to try to get it past the box. But it just kind of laid there. And Texas Tech was ready for it. Looking like the opportunistic team that we saw in SWOSU earlier.
Love it. Love it. 30 seconds, 3 goals. Not a bad start. Solid hit. Going to force the hand. And Kobe actually with a relatively normal bouncing ball. Defender just can't quite get to it. Yeah, so hits it. That's a perfect corner, by the way. Drip comes up to it and just can't get on the other side. That ball just going a little bit faster than probably what he was anticipating.
With that bouncer, yeah, because it looks deceiving, right? It looks a little bit slower, but it does have that forward momentum that kind of carries it. And now look out. Drip almost surrendering another one. Slasher up to get another touch, but couldn't find it. Now Kobe's forced back. He'll have plenty of time to turn and rotate on this one. And avoid it up, but Texas Tech still looking to... They're a little bit quicker in transition, right? They're looking to be cleaner when it comes to finding ways around SWOSU when they go forward momentum, which hasn't happened a whole lot in this series, to be fair. But they have found it now and looking to press in, but the Slasher will clear out to midfield.
Nice, perfect positioning yet again. Tries to get the finishing blow done themselves. Doesn't quite have their executioner's license. Team play continuing to be how these two teams going to go forth. Score balls. Oh, that's so dangerous. And Astro Boys just left there with no boost, hanging out in their goal, wanting a pass.
It feels like forever whenever you're backwards like that, but look, nobody back again. Oh, no. History repeats itself from the past couple of games, and Astro just launches it, uses Kobe as a T, and literally says, Kobe.
I love that. R.I.P. This really was, I mean, you know, cue the Breaking Bad meme, right? How many times he can't keep letting him get away with it. Almost Slasher there with another one. That would have been a 3rd goal run comeback here for SWOSU Blue after Texas Tech straight up showed him what time it was the first 30 seconds of this game.
For sure. And I love what Slasher's been doing in this series. A young player here as a freshman and has been fantastic, just showing up with all sorts of energy. And it hasn't found every single read offensively, but has played aggressively enough and is trying those angles that maybe they haven't hit in the past or continue to miss, but you know, they're just inches away from being able to hit real bangers that you see at the top level, like champions level play, right? And here in the emergence division, to have a young player like that in your program is something truly special. So I love what Southwestern Oklahoma State has in him. And now they'll try to turn an opportunity to try to equalize. Kobe's there, but it's shut down by Hellfrost.
Nicely done. That brick wall impersonation. Really standing up right there. Hellfrost, 3 or 4 saves or something like that. Now a shot on and over, and it's just a methodical drip shot right to the middle once again. Pull the rabbit out of it, because that's a hat trick.
No hesitation on that turn. I love that by Drip. Instead of just naturally falling back and accepting fate, that touch just not a strong one from the defensive SWOSU, to be honest, and you find yourself in a position where you can turn and launch it, and it's very difficult to quick turn and line yourself up for a solid shot there, and that's what you're able to accomplish. Now Texas Tech back up on top by 2, but as we know, SWOSU can score in bunches. There's no time to play comfortably here, especially when your backs are against the wall the way they are for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, just the level of pressure is a little bit different here from these two. Okay, and there's nobody on the SWOSU Blue side. I guess they were transitioning from defense. That was a golden opportunity after this player just kind of, I mean, waiting for their teammates to round around, sure, but Still kind of making a split decision there. Kobe on this one gets it over one. That's the assistance on the angle, actually, a redirect from a Texas Tech player. Coming up to it, Slasher is there. Slasher gets this one over, up for it. Kobe right in the middle, and we're back to a one-score difference.
Looking like a slasher film out here as he chopped him up on the back end of this one with a great demo to just free everything up. Nobody was expecting it. And now Texas Tech, you feeling nervous. Here it comes. You're only up by one.
Yeah, 7 total goals as of right now, matching our previous games, our previous most. Oh man, Astro putting this one up off the back yet again. So the kickoffs go all the way for Texas earlier, all the way the other way here. Chancho trying to get something onto this one, and a technical own goal. We're not going to count it against him, of course, because still trying to make a play onto the ball.
That's right, and you have to credit Swosu for getting back this quickly to equalize. Off the kickoff play, you saw Astro kick it backwards to a teammate to launch that one towards the net. But now Answer ramped up and in. That's about as close as you can go to the left side of the post and be able to count it. Texas Tech back on top. Credit them for answering it because they were in a very tough spot, but they've at least got that one to sneak it in.
Kissing pixels over here. Kissing pixels with how close that one is. Just a bare angle out. Texas Tech almost getting a great kickoff shot here. Any farther out, and this one still be bouncing around. We'd be looking at a tie ball game. Slasher continues momentum right here. Hellfrost comes up to it. Kobe's got to make a play onto this and does. This is still not out of the way of danger yet. Down bottom, and Drip puts it to 2.
That was an excellent shot. That angle was insane, and we haven't seen a lot of opportunities from Texas Tech because they've been trying to dig themselves out defensively. Well, look at that. A double commit, yes. Chancho, a little bit out of place there, but Drip needed that shot to go on target, and he was able to find it.
35 seconds to go here. A couple of scores necessary for Swallow Blue to shut this series down, end it 3-1. You do not want to go to this sudden death game 5 after being ahead, and especially in such ways, right? 6-0 in game number 2, Bearlight.
That's right. You think about that, and you think about the many opportunities you've been able to take advantage of, and you continuously put your foot on the gas. 26 seconds left, and they're inching back here. It's always too early to call it unless the clock hits 0, and even past that for 0 second opportunities for Swosu, because they continuously just give this Texas Tech defense nightmares.
Yeah, that was almost the problem with getting demos here, because Hellfrost was coming back. They come back, I'm going to say half a second earlier. They have an honest shot making a play onto this, defending that shot away. Now back down bottom. Swosu knows it. That's going to be decently centered right here, and Chancho continues that momentum. Drip from the corner, wins the miss. Right now, that is lurking dangerous, and Chancho puts a seal onto this game number 4. Texas Tech and Swallow Blue are going the distance here, Bearlight.
Chancho's been the difference maker in both senses of the word, right? It's really, he's been the wild card. If he's on top, if he's not playing hesitant at all, this team is absolutely dynamic offensively, and they will get this win to force that game 5. And Chancho with that last dagger there to keep Swosu on their toes, to move them to this game 5, to move to a situation where it is do or die. Regardless of what happened in the past, it's a chance for the Red Raiders to make it right.
That right there, the mind of a gold, or the memory of a goldfish, not the mind of a goldfish, that'd be a lot worse. The memory of a goldfish here, like that is exactly what this Texas Tech squad needed to come into this one. Take that 6-0, throw it in the past, because that's where it's going to belong. Never going to see it again, right? Come here, play the 5-minute Rocket League game that is right in front of you, and even if that is a 12 total goal game here in game number 4, still got it done. We were flirting with overtime there for a little while, but then Chancho, to your point, and I cannot agree with that more, right? There's a couple different times Chancho has not been back, not been rotated, and allowed easy goals in. There's also been a couple of times that Chancho comes here and just pulls out these aerial acrobatics to pull a goal out of nothing, it seems.
That's right. And you always feel a little bit nervous to rely on one player, but that player has just recently heated up. So really, you just got to feed the hot hand, get him going for sure. And then the rest of the team, it's not like they've taken, that last game off either. They were contributing in the biggest of ways, but it is those little moments that decide a series after all. And in such an important series, in order to move on, it's the right time to come to life and at least start cleaning up a few of those mistakes. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect for Texas Tech. There was still a few opportunities where you're like, Southwestern and Oklahoma State shouldn't have been in this one, but they are still in it nonetheless, and so are Texas Tech, as we had a Game 5 here, the decider, and right off the bat, Texas Tech, they had an opportunity, but Astro shut him down.
Nicely done. Astro reading this one, likes the author, knows the book, headed on off to the library to get a card and check this one out, because that was forecasted all day long. Chancho getting this one out to Drip. Great job from saving this one. Really invested, not wasted, the boost right there to get up to that one and at least give the teammates a little bit of time to get into position themselves. Right, close and personal. Astro's like pulling the gun out right there, and then it's like the nice cinematic, like they have the gun out and then you hear a shot and then it flashes at them and it's really they're the ones getting shot.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Yes.
It came to life, a meme in person. Well, here's Drip. He's got a good pass there, but a great read. A great passing, great offense there. A great offensive sequence from Texas Tech, but Swosu's defense just a little bit better. Now their offense looking to make some noise. Drip shut down Chancho too. They double committed. They had to be careful, and Drip did a good job to handle it.
We got like little cinematic moment there ourselves, right? Offensive player back after missing theirs, then C2 just perfectly angled coming up for the double commit on the ball, which was necessary. Love it. Couple of whiffs right here. And the fans going here in about minute 40 into this one. Chancho paying for that aggression with their lives yet again. Now it's a pass on over to the right corner as Chancho comes out to try and meet with Hellfrost. Astro Boy taking this one back on the other way. Chancho kicks it to the corner and allows teammate to pick up their boost, or excuse me, opponent to pick up their boost a little bit. No bueno. We're talking about boost economy. Now down bottom, a bouncing play. Slasher wisely does not jump all over this because they knew where this ball and the pressure was going. Double commit, but a weak one at that for the block. Now the pressure's over.
When Texas Tech comes alive, Kobe does as well. We saw a little bit of a decline in Kobe saves, but that was because Texas Tech was too busy worrying about focusing on their defense and how they can clean that up. This has been a much cleaner play from both sides. Texas Tech now just a bit wide. Chancho, he answers! And Swosu was still a little bit out of sync there defensively as two dove, and then Kobe was just trying to get out there, but he was lacking boost and couldn't get the challenge before Chancho was able to just launch it in the back of their net.
I love that. Chancho right here just kind of comes across this one in the dirt, picks it up, shakes it off a little bit like, hey, I can do something with this. How about the first goal of this Game 5 in a tied series? Texas Tech up 1-0 now. Drip sending this one skyward, now down bottom. Chancho, speaking of, tries to get this one out. Clear is no good. Now that is a good clear as Hellfrost sends this one the other way, and both teams just looking to pick up boost for a couple of seconds.
Bit of an awkward exchange for sure. In the corner, Astro will challenge. The Swosu fans here in chat and watching along, it's not panic mode by any means. It's not like they're sitting here like, what is going on, right? But at the same time, it's very not a good feeling to be down by Texas Tech in this Game 5 regardless. So it's less so worrying, especially when you have them combining for that, as Astro found Kobe right in the slot and a equalize at one.
Fantastic. Drip looking for a big hit off of this wall right there, and then unfortunately it's just Astro pop play, Kobe slam dunk right in the middle. About 90 seconds to go here, tie ball game.
The doctor charts they have when you go in, and it's like, what's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? For Swosu being down in that moment, it was like, it's probably like a 3, and it's like, it doesn't feel good. And they were able to get one back, so now the pain is down to a 1. They still are a little bit nervous. They still want the next one. They want to strike through. Because if Texas Tech gets going, that's realistically their only opportunity. So really, if they hooked up on that pass, that might have been a very big deterrent of what Texas Tech was able to do. Instead, it'll be Astro to try to handle this at midfield.
Yeah, I gotta say, Swazoo's passing game, if we're really diving into this one, has just been a little bit off thus far. They took advantage of the one real mistake that Texas Tech has made so far, and even this one down bottom, off of the backboard, but not really with direction right now, and that's why Texas Tech is taking position and getting this one on out. Kobe, unfortunate whiff down bottom, drip, looking good, and a rip off on this one until the demo does come through. Slasher the other way, now gets it out, can't quite get the single hit and taken away yet again.
Jancho back on this one, he misses. Drip, recognized that right off the bat, and maybe it was communication saying, oh, I'm missing, and able to step up either way. Now it's Slasher. Oh, lots of space to work with here, too. Trying to launch it there in the slot. Kobe again. Not enough room, though, to work with. Just loosely hang out to midfield, where they'll eventually get bumped off. And Kobe off the ceiling. Uses that to come back down. Now there's 10 seconds left. Opportunity to push in. Slasher almost got that second read, too. Imagine, but Drip can't do much with it. In the corner, sent across. Great touch away from the Texas Tech defense, but it's not on the ground. And they're trying to transition back out. Jancho challenging Kobe. Now Slasher trying to turn it around. Kobe will launch it forward. Here to the corner, they'll let it die. Smart choice by Texas Tech to play into overtime.
Hey, we started in overtime, we'll end in overtime. Round and round we go. Where we stop, Bearlight, I do not know. That was almost an early decision here for the side of Texas Tech. Fighting back, scrambling back, tooth and nail as of right now. A scrappy team the Red Raiders are indeed.
That one's going to be challenged on the wall, too. Hellfrost sends it forward. Slasher had to get a touch and barely does. Was able to tilt his car backwards into the corner as well to give his team a chance to transition out. But Kobe out to the corner, not a whole lot of boost to work with, so he'll just use the corner to launch it up to try to find a teammate, but Hellfrost read it all the way. Trying to find it, Slasher, not enough on it to deter him. It's off the corner and the shot, but it's going to go well wide. Wasn't able to launch that one as it was just off the side of his car. And look out in transition, Kobe demoed off a Drip, turns just in time, and Texas Tech to the opposite side.
Right, back and forth we go. Like I said, offenses into defenses, defenses into offenses. Kobe up. Nice clear right here. Texas Tech does have a player back for it. Sends that one skyward, back to the middle. There's a pass. Speaking of, get up by Chancho. Another hit over the outside. Attempted pass on Astro, but as Swazoo's pass has been going, it's just a little bit too ahead, and possession goes the other way.
Turn on it, a good challenge there on the box. Now on it is Slasher, he'll launch it. Forward, they got support too, but that extra touch actually dooms them. Had Kobe and had Astro Boy there to take a shot, and unfortunately that second touch from Slasher got a little bit greedy there. Off the back wall it goes. Slasher will get a touch there, but again, Kobe was on it, forcing like a lot of double commits that you don't want to see. An overtime shot taken, Kobe, big save. Follow up there at midfield. Kobe, one-on-one, left on it, tries to get the read and does. What a good shutdown on the defense from Hellfrost.
A reminder, guys, this is 3.5 minutes of OT in the first one. That was game one when a lot less mattered. 2 minutes into overtime here, and I have a sinking feeling we're nowhere near the end as of right now. Chancho, left side, big bouncing play off of a half pinch. Assisted by the opponent right now, Kobe, up to it. This is going to be a back pass result over here for Astro Boy, and Astro Boy can't accept that when you ain't got no hands. Demo coming in. Get across the middle. Nice job interrupting this one, Bearlight.
So close now, followed up, Drip. Shot taken, but Kobe shuts him down. Midfield. Lets it go, shot taken. Oh, Kobe breaks through. And after all that heart, all that effort from Texas Tech, yeah, Batman indeed. 2-1 is the final here in Game 5, and 3-2 in this series, and Swazoo moves on.
Absolutely disgusting shot there from Kobe. It's so interesting that literally all of this comes down to just Kobe being that much farther than the defender right there. Defender gets up under this one. This is foisted way high, way right, way left, and play would continue on. If it continued the script, then this would be a lot of pressure the other way initially that gets blocked away, and they continue playing for 10 freaking minutes or something like that. What a matchup. What a matchup. We've gotten 3 zeros on broadcast. We've gotten 3 1s, a couple 3 1s on broadcast, and now we have Game 5 that starts and ends in overtime. Love it. Love it. Big shout out to Swazoo Blue.
Yeah, starts and ends with Texas Tech just being that much, out of it defensively, right? they cleaned it up and it looked a little bit stronger and it wasn't that far off, but it was enough to matter, right? And the defense kind of let you down again. And all that heart, right? I was prepared to, like, if Texas Tech was able to take this series, that was a gutsy win, because it did not feel like you should have won that series at all based on a couple of performances there mid games. But they dug deep. They were able to keep it close. And for Southwestern Oklahoma State University, you can say the same thing, that they dug deep as well to hold off the Red Raiders, who were essentially, rolling in and really taking it to them. But they were able to hold off, take advantage, and just play with their identity to close things out.
100% agreed right here. 100% agreed. If we take a look at like the score differences as well, massive mathematical differences. Texas Tech takes their first game by only a single point, takes their second game by 2.75 right there. But then you start looking at the other side, 6-0, 5-2. There's 9-goal differential way of SWOSU Blue coming into that fifth game right there. So writing might have been on the wall like a little bit, but this did come down to an incredibly close matchup, and just again, that much space. Choncho, I believe that was Hellfrost right there, like a little bit more coordinated. Some player had cut rotation back, to get in the defensive position a quarter of a second sooner, but again, alternate universes, different timelines, or whatever right now, Bearlight. Big shout out, SWOSU Blue, taking this one. The squad over here from the A side of the South Central playoffs here for Emergence. Going to be taking this one down and moving on along with their playoff dreams kept alive. Texas Tech, unfortunately, the white squad going to be dropped on down here after a barn burner of a match.
Yeah, and they've obviously, it doesn't feel great to get dropped in the first round here, but they will move on to next semester, held high, and knowing that they had their opportunities here. And at the end of the day, this is a program that's been around for a while and it's continuing to grow. And we look forward to Texas Tech, obviously a predominant school, a D1 in traditional sports, and now looking to build their esports program. And they've done an excellent job of just that. They'll have plenty of time over the offseason during the holidays to not only enjoy holidays, but also to get back and be stronger next semester as well.
Yeah, also get nice and fat. Thanksgiving food, dude. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to it.
Absolutely, baby. Give me some of that.
Oh, this has been a close one here between SWOSU Blue and Texas Tech White. Good news here, folks, is this ain't it for the day right here. We got Concord Esports, Cumberland Phoenix, the only team that beat Kennesaw State during the regular season. Kennesaw State taking their own respective series earlier. Coming forth to do battle. This is be Champions Divisions as well. Bearlight, do you have anything else for the good people before we go to a short break and get that one set up?
Hopefully it's as good as this last one, because we continue to rule with just amazing series in the NECC.
Absolutely. Back for a short break, guys. Hey, hello and welcome back. Our final match of the night here for the NECC is going to be Concord Maroon and Cumberland Phoenix. Some FBI tugboat here at the Man Bear Light.
I'm very excited to be here. Obviously, last series was impressive, but we have a new set of teams that we'll get to know here momentarily, and looking forward to the show that they're going to bring to you because it's been nothing but incredible action here, as you'd expect from any playoff bracket here. But with the NECC, it always seems to be truly extra special.
Oh yeah. A lot of teams here for the NECC. We are now shaken down to the best of them that we have to offer. Taking a look at Concord Maroon, this is the second seed from the A side of the bracket for this Mid-East division. This is Pancake, this is Helix, and this is ET for Concord Esports.
Yeah, looking to bleed maroon here. This Concord team from West Virginia, Athens specifically, looking to get things to come alive, as it's actually the Champions division here. We'll get that updated. But at the same time, like these players, I've seen these three connect on a regular basis. ET is outstanding. Pancake really leads the way, and Helix just a solid third to round out this roster too. Excited to see what this team is all about.
Yes, sir. 5-1 Concord Esports squad. You mentioned that West Virginia, they're interstate, out-of-state rivals. Nova taking them down in the regular season for their only regular season loss. 5-1 this Concord Maroon squad is. Moving on along here, take a look. Cumberland Phoenix, the third seed from the B side of the bracket here for the Mid-East. This is Dominator _171, henceforth referred to as Dominator, Super Smurf, and the End of You. Very End of You, very aggressive name there. I like it. Strikes fear into the heart of the opponents.
It's the end of you and your playoff run. Hopefully, I mean, if you're a Cumberland fan, we'll see if they can make that happen, accomplish that. But the winner of this is going to go on and take on Kennesaw State, who we saw a little bit earlier with that 3-0 victory. So you got a tall task in front of you and one on the horizon. So if you win this series, you want to win big and feel good about it moving on to the next one, because your challenges aren't going to end here.
No, they're not. No, they're not. And for one of these teams, there's a little bit of precedence there as well. The Cumberland Phoenix dishing out to Kennesaw State their only regular season loss. And these stats are correct. That was a 3-0 loss as well, Bartlett. Let's go ahead. Game. Get this one started. Concord Esports, Cumberland Phoenix. One of these teams will achieve greatness, glory, everything else. One of these teams will end their playoff run early, in Cumberland Phoenix, that's Dominator. Dominator. Could have proven that name early.
Honestly. And Pancake was there for it too, and dove across. And it looks like they affected the ball enough to send it up and launch it up towards the crossbar, but it wasn't enough to keep it in. So it's the ideal, picturesque start, if you will, for Cumberland. Get on the board early. That team, like we mentioned, that has so much upside. I mean, if you're beating Kennesaw State in the program they have together, those are two major varsity programs, and really have I would imagine a true rivalry of their own. Concord strikes right back, though, says, hey, we're part of this conversation, too.
Absolutely. Pancake laying them flat right there. Also, just a little bit of an update. This is the Cumberland Phoenix Black squad. They have a Maroon squad as well, and I am not 100% sure which one played against Kennesaw State earlier. One of them beat that squad, and they're on their regular season loss. Don't want to be given, false information here. 30 seconds into this one, tie ball game.
Is he going to leave it for a teammate? The interview is already ready for it, though, but Helix just as quick. Yeah, back up for a challenge. ET going to launch one. This one will be handled pretty easily there by Dominator. He's backwards, but no real sweat as Super Smurf going to roll it up that side wall. Hardest Smurf when we know your rank here in the NECC, the playoffs. Maybe we'll show up and actually be the best in the lobby and stay true to the name. That's obviously what the Phoenix are hoping for.
Oh, my.
Wow, okay. Helix credited that shot with a very one for Concord to put them on top.
Concord taking a bite out of this one, nearly 3 scores in 1 minute.
Wow.
And, folks, a little bit of follow-up on this, getting confirmed from some of the folks behind the scenes that make our jobs as casters so much easier, and we do appreciate them. This is the Cumberland Phoenix Black Squad that did beat Kennesaw 3-0. So, to get a little bit of stage set for that, if Cumberland Phoenix is the one to move on.
Well said. Concord Esports is showing up, though, and saying, well, we're going to beat the team that beat Kennesaw. At least that's their goal. Pancake will send forward, launch. Super Smurf was beat to it by ET. Back wall, launched off it. The Concord Esports attack didn't want to jump on that either because Cumberland Well, they're showing their hands ready to defend here. Dominator did just enough to keep that out of the hands of ET and finding themselves down by more.
Yeah, trying to reach out, get a finger on it. There was ET not able to. It's a perfect angle right against this board and like, you know, perfectly pop back out. You always love to see that. Always love to see that. What was it? Parody in nature. That's what we'll call it.
ET launches another one. All right. ET just had a little bit to work with there room-wise, but it looked like a pretty harmless situation there defensively. But Cumberland defense just wasn't ready for it. Just plain and simple.
Nike swoosh at the end. Love that. Love that. 3 minutes, 3 seconds left. Concord Esports up by 2. Off the back of some pretty impressive shots thus far. Cumberland on the defensive as of right now as Helix beats feet down to the side to try and get back into rotation. Now the striker position they'll be in and having to pick this one up. Actually, a quick transition in the defense and Helix picks it up, foists it back the other way.
Dominator trying to settle down. This will be ET. Another great shot bar down. And Concord came to play here. Cumberland scratching their heads as that's typically one that he can collect, but Helix did a great job to just pester him.
Flying down from the skies, can't be surprised for this extraterrestrial. 4-1 as of right now. ET doing everything. 4 shots, 2 goals, both of those assisted as well. Helix, Pancake both putting up their own offensive performances with a goal apiece.
Cumberland finally gets to the offensive side, but it's only for a split second as it's sent the length of the pitch. We see director Coach Claypool in the chat as well has brought a majority of the Cumberland Phoenix fans here. They'll look to rally their team too. Yeah, love seeing the support, number 1, and then number 2 cheering their team on and hopefully can make a comeback in this game. Number 1, give them a bit of a show. Obviously, it's a young series, so we'll see as it goes, how they can perform.
Yeah, I mean, what? This is a 6-0 Swasu Blue Squad, or Swasu Blue Squad, excuse me, that won 6-0 in Game 2 and proved that, like everybody else who wants the W in the NECC, they got to go the distance. 4-1 as of right now. We'll see how this continues to shake out right here. At what point do you say if you're Cumberland Phoenix, you pour it all into offense, and if you get beat by 4, you get beat by 3, you get beat by 9, you get beat by 1, it's all the same?
It is at this point in time. It's really just how you finish the game, right? How do you roll back into the next side? And I fully understand that. That's a bouncer, though. An opportunity there for Super Smurf, but again shut down. But even the little things that seem to be going right for Cumberland, they just haven't been able to finish. And so, like I'm trying to mention here, you shouldn't be that concerned, but ET continues to put up numbers. That'll be his hat trick here in Game 1. They're up 5-1.
Yeah, a dominant performance here from Concord Esports thus far. The end of you trying to get a flip onto this one, but this is just a fastball that is immediately ping-ponged back the other way. 4 scores, 76 seconds. It is possible, but at this point, practically require Concord Esports players like put the controllers down or something. Game 1 might be over and done with.
It might just be a little bit too far out of reach. Shout out to the friends in chat from the Stay Plugged In platform, our partners at Stay Plugged In, and Magic and Skyline used to absolutely dominate the Stay Plugged In realms. They're here for the Cumberland side too. Always good to see some familiar faces, and like we mentioned, they'll hope to see a little bit more from Cumberland. And Concord Esports, I'm sure you're showing up too. We'd love to hear from you and see your support too, as your team has definitely jumped out and has been ready since the get-go.
Yeah. Oh, nice shot right there from the end of you. Helix reading this one out. Concord making slight work of Cumberland says, your mom's favorite gamer. Wait! I thought I was my mom's favorite gamer. Oh my! Okay, well, you can exit game number 1 with a goal like that at least. If style points counted for anything, this series would be tied right now.
Super Smurf is now your mom's favorite gamer.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Excellent. I mean, with that kind of mechanics, how can you argue with that?
Yeah, my mom's going to have a rough call with me later tonight.
Listen, son, you did great. There are better out there, apparently, and it is by their name. Cumberland Phoenix do get the last one back here. 14 seconds left to try and get one to spark some momentum, but it was all Concord Esports since the get-go. As Pancake tries to pre-jump that one too and add some pain to it. Either way, it will find the ground eventually. When it does, Concord Esports will have this 1-0 lead, and just an impressive mark. Almost got another one, too, for the road. But Concord Esports showing up, man.
Yeah, I mean, when a game spends majority time for one, like just the middle chunk right there, Cumberland kind of waiting a little bit to turn on the afterburners, and once they do, my goodness, again, Super Smurf right there with the flashiest goal maybe that we've seen on stream today so far. My memory doesn't go that far back, all the way back to Juniata College and Kennesaw State, but at least of recent goals, that was absolutely beautiful. Keys to victory here for Cumberland Phoenix Black Squad. Unlock this Super Smurf player. Allow this to happen a little bit better, because some of the passes even just seemed like they were created from unsure footing right here, Bearlight. Granted, this is game one. There's plenty of mistakes to work on here, and ultimately the most important time is right now. What they want to talk about and how they want to stop making the mistakes they have made and take advantage of the mistakes their opponents are making.
Yeah, just don't get too ahead of yourself in this situation. You want to make this crazy comeback. Even at that 3-1 mark, it looked like they were getting a little bit antsy and trying to get back on the scoreboard a little bit faster than they needed to. Really, just at that point in time, you want to reorganize and get back to it that way. And I think they surrendered a couple of goals off of mistakes that way, trying to play a little bit too aggressively. Once it gets down to that last minute, then we can talk. But I think that's part of it too. You were absolutely right in your assessment as well. But let's see if they can get it done here as we head to the pitch here for game two. Cumberland Phoenix did get the last goals after all, as far as moving into this one, so that may speak momentum. But we'll see if Concord Esports can get off to that same great start that they had when we kicked off game one.
And viewers, you see it in the channel. Who will win? Let's get your predictions in. ET makes a vote themselves to take Concord Esports up in the lead and early again.
Yeah, ET was the one to strike multiple occasions. As you see that CRL tag from 2022. I mean, that's experience you bring out here. Perhaps of an intimidation factor as well, and it's been working, if that's the case. Or if it's irrelevant, who knows. Either way, Concord, it doesn't change the results, which has been excellent to kick off. And they're trying for more as well, because why not?
Yeah, no, I love that. ET, hand on the ball. Who else? Nice. Okay, I was going to say nice little pop play with no boost to be spoken of. Now out to the outside. Helix actually hits this away from their teammate. Pancake, again, looking to take a bite out of this one. No opportunity left alone for them from the teammate, unfortunately. Decently on point. Helix up to it. Okay, and then now it's Pancake's opportunity to take away an opportunity from their teammate. Okay.
Just trading blunders, no worries. He's using that corner to launch it off, and Super Smurf actually a misread there, but maybe called off in front of the team. Pancake gonna lay him out. Helix trying to find a far side corner, but Dominator on it. Launched and corralled around that sidewall. Good slow play from Pancake. Flip reset, far down.
Oh.
What a play, what a shot. And Concord up 2-0.
Boy, we have some blueberries inside that pancake because that one was tasty. Nice shot. Dominator and the end of you get nothing more than a front row seat to goal number 2 for Concord Esports.
Nasty. The slow play, the timing, you said it best when you're talking about like FPSs and trigger discipline, right? Yep. And Pancake just chose the right time, number 1, but then got the flip reset and was able to basically go from 0 to flip it over your opponents. Oh my, Concord once more, and not even satisfied with the 2 they got, but a good defensive play there from Cumberland to keep them away.
And playing to the whistle, like you were saying earlier here, Bearlight. This has been all Concord Esports in the offensive third thus far, and now Pancake flattens another one right here. 2 shots and 2 goals.
And a high five for the road, too. It's a good read on Super Smurf. And if you just couldn't go back, and Helix says, all right, yep, high five, we're showing off now. Cumberland Phoenix scratching their heads. What is happening right now? Because it's a difficult terrain right now. They haven't been able to find much at all. And a lot of it has to do with Concord, the way they've been playing. I mean, this team has been vibing like crazy.
Yeah, they really have. They really have. Cumberland is not making the same offensive mistakes that Concord Esports has just been littered with the first few. And I say that because they have made mistakes, but they've also spent almost all of this time in offense, and that's why we're looking down the barrel of a 3-0 lead as of right now for Concord Esports. Back to the middle we go as halftime does chime. This little play over, one of the best ones, been the best looks the Phoenix squad have risen up to so far, but ET yet again just showing off what they can do in the air. Back flip there for Pancake. ET tries something themselves. Speaking of Pancake, there's another shot, another opportunity, but hit way, way, way left.
I love seeing those backwards plays, because the flip cancel, like half flip basically, but to get that much power on it is not something I see very often. A lot of times when you're backwards, that's like the time of when you're vulnerable, right? When you don't mean a lot. But there's an opportunity, and the end of view is the end of this drought that they had, goal scoring wise.
Yeah, speaking of prime time to strike right here, as ET does get jostled on the way in there right now. So Super Smurf with the assist, Super Smurf with the continued support after the ball is passed up there, getting a little physical with the defense. This yields the first goal here for Cumberland Phoenix in game 2.
Dominator is gonna rotate out of this one. There's nothing really much they could do except for turn around, get an extra touch. And the end of you wants to go right back to it. It's off the back wall. There's somebody they challenge. The bouncer!
What?
Pancake freezes it, but it does eventually break through. But that was wild!
That literally looks like one of our special Rocket League games where you have the spikes on, and it's just like staying on Pancake. And especially, like, this is particularly brutal because, of course, if Pancake's just a tiny bit farther in, this isn't just a clear, this is a pinch off a top board, right? Off the top bar right there, and this one goes flying out. As unfortunately not what happens right there. Is that was almost like a rule 1 between teammates.
3-on-1 situation. You can't do that, right? This is still.
I would not.
Cursed?
No.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. The Cumberland's got the last 2. I mean, they've been looking a little bit better. The Concord's right back at it. What a demo. What a save. Super Smurf able to answer that one, too. Bounces to the box, and Pancake will break through.
The ball hangs out. Ball flirts around enough with this goal right here. Eventually, they're going to go out on a date. 4-2. Is this another one? This is just Pancake. Super fast. 58 miles an hour. Adds that, like, 93 kilometer. I'm not 100% sure. It actually says on this other one. I could probably just try and do that instead of trying to do the math in my head.
But I love it when you do math on stream.
I have different experiences, Bearlight. That's funny that you say so.
That one's lofted high here. Cumberland trying to get back in. The last thing they want to do is head to match point against. And right now they're 55 seconds left. They need to find a goal pretty quickly. And right now Helix is going to kill more time with a big clear. Cumberland defense holds back. Try to eventually break through at the right timing. That is just a slow ball. A bit of a change-up, if you will. And now we'll look out the other way. Shot taken. Oh, Pancake answers. And we flip and trade punches here between the two.
Just like that, Dominator, Pancake, glad that they had this one back. Dominator bouncing this one off the ground and had great momentum on this. Now, everybody here, Concord Esports, Helix almost feasted on the defense right there. That had just been just a little bit more to the inside. Here, 2 scores difference, 15 seconds. Cumberland has to get in the offensive right now. This might actually be the stance with which to do it, but time just slowly burning out right here. And I think with that clear, Helix has secured the win for Concord Esports in game number 2.
That was Helix a few times. We got chat hyping up Helix as well. ET has been deserving of the same, and this will be the exact same score line. The difference is Concord got the last couple of goals instead, and they moved to match point to this 2-0 front. And Cumberland Phoenix look a little bit flustered.
That's fair. That's fair. Look, we're looking for market improvement across series. This is much closer to a 4-2 than truly like a 5-2, right? Especially not like a 6-2, blah blah whatever. Yep. But this is coming off the back of Cumberland only getting 3 shot opportunities and making 2 of them. Now, people always say defense wins championships, and great respect. We'll leave that for American football. This is Rocket League. You have to spend time on offense, and you have to rattle the opponent's backboards frequently, especially these higher skill tiers, to go forth and actually get points. Can't always just rely on just huge clears, other side with your opponents not having anybody home to answer the door right here. Simply getting more shot opportunities, and I think this is a comeback type situation in Game 3, if not farther than that, for this Cumberland squad.
It all starts with getting those opportunities and getting ones that really matter. I feel like a lot of shots that I've seen taken have been easily handled by the defensive Concord. And that's just a result, a byproduct of good positioning and being able to get in the face of this team and not allow them to get opportunities in the first place. It kind of forces you to think that you have to take whatever shots given to you, when really it's been the patience of Cumberland that's worked for them best. We saw a lot of opportunities where they were playing patiently, and when that happened, they were playing a lot more effectively on the offensive side. I'd like to see a lot more of that here moving into this next game, and you're right. I think that's a solid point. Let the game come to you a little bit. Time has passed. You can't settle in anymore, but you do have to get back out there and play your style of Rocket League. Otherwise, you're just playing in the hands of Concord after all.
Yeah, no reactive play, but proactive play. I think that might be a good way to kind of summarize what it is that Cumberland really needs to do. And, 5-2 losses that is brutal. That is brutal. Again, mind of a goldfish. Super Smurf reads this one out, and even though they've got the same kind of trajectory, the same kind of momentum going towards that way, redirecting it over the side yields no harm, no foul. At least not yet. Helix with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tap, something like that. I don't know. Bearlight, again, I cannot count that high.
Trying to do math again. Well, first that bump, right? And then the Doomsy dish, and was able to just find that far side post. As simple as that. Nobody was there, nobody home, and there you go. Easy lead here for Concord. Now that's going to make it difficult here for Cumberland, who's been behind the entire series. And ET trying to go back to it. Oh, almost had it. The extra shot, though, in the defense. Able to clean it up. Now look out. Got a lead blocker out in front. See with Smurf trying to get to it. Good avoid there from Helix to keep it away.
Fantastic avoid right there, especially the only one player back as well. Transitioning perfectly into offense, and Helix takes another bite out of Cumberland Phoenix. 2-0. Helix getting it going against Phoenix.
A 1-2 punch. They really have been. Really, it's all three. Pancake has been there in big ways, but Helix and ET, the way that they're just back and forth in this game has been excellent. And ET already knows that when Helix is popping off the way they are, and you see in chat, they say Helix in free play right now. It feels so simple for this man, and ET's a big part of that, just being able to enable your best player right now to go at it.
Oh, 100%. This was ET earlier that's really showing us what... Oh, my, there you go. Showing us earlier and showing us right now what they can do. ET 2 shots, 1 goal made in after Pancake perfectly pops this ball up, and End of View and Super Smurf are just kind of waiting down bottom to make a decision. Analysis paralysis, folks. Analysis paralysis. These types of decisions, you don't make them, they will make you.
That is absolutely well said. Super Smurf and the rest of the squad. You got it, man. You got it. You've been as excellent with your words as Concord has been with their shots.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
I'll
I
give you that.
appreciate you.
And
Fun
happy
series
early
make it easy,
birthday.
though, you know?
You're right. And happy early birthday, by the way. I went over that earlier.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I'll have to dial you up again on New Year's.
Pancake backwards here, trying to make another play backwards. We mentioned that the first time he looks on target. That one is going to fall into the hands of Dominator, but his teammate has been dimming off the field. This will be off to the box, but of course, when you're not on the field, you can't be in that box. Team Smurf's got to leave it. Good little chip up there from the End of View, but Pancake read it all the way. Dominator left to the side wall. We'll try to push a corner, maybe an extra touch in the back pocket. Left it serves as a fake, but Helix backward again. 50-50 from Dominator, not enough to create an offensive chance. And now ET waits for the demo. What the quick reset do?
Brutal, dude. Absolutely brutalizing them. This is Helix with more just like a centering play. This could have been ET, this could have been Pancake. ET picks this one up and says, hey, see that net? I'm about to dunk this thing. 2 minutes, 54 seconds left as Concord Esports amassing their same kind of lead total. 5-2, 5-2 in games 1 and 2. Now a 4-score and donut on the other side.
Not looking the best, we'll put it very simply. And they just try and find more offensive chances, and it's such great anticipation from Concord. There's not a second they take off. And you, that's a great setup, though, to try and spark something the other way. But again, the bump demo play is just snuffed out every time. Concord's got an answer for just about everything.
Seriously, a great job, End of View, actually kind of realizing this one, allowing teammate to get to, if that was in fact intentional, regardless. Fantastic job there for End of View to realize that positioning maybe not the best. 2 minutes to go right here. Again, turn of donuts in a breadstick. Zeros into one, people. It's like there's like a mental factor to it as well, obviously a points mathematical influence. I don't know.
Interview. Really just trying to bring it into the series, perhaps. Oh, Helix just fall from the sky. You fell from the sky. There was nowhere that he should have been there. What in the world is he doing? But it's paying off. He's just a raindrop that falls down and finds gold. I don't know.
Love it. Raindrop turning into a deluge, a full-on flash flood as of right now as Cumberland Phoenix find themselves 90 seconds away from playoff contention elimination from nothing down here. And again, 5-2 losses might be brutal. At least you put points on the board here. Cumberland Phoenix coming up toward. That's the end of you with a bouncing play. Super Smurf tries to challenge the 50, loses it unfortunately. Helix pop play off the back fender over here for ET. Helix right side right now look dangerous with a little bit of boost and an attempted back hit the back board right there, but this is precious seconds burning out. The grains of sand in the hourglass slowly slipping through fingers at Cumberland Phoenix.
When you're feeling it, it's crazy the level of play you can get to, especially at this level in the Champs Division.
No.
Another goal going here for AT. Will spell the end of Cumberland Phoenix here in their season run, here for this team specifically. But at the same time, like, this team just turned on all jets. Concord Esports showed up to play from the get-go and just continued to pressure Cumberland. Never let him a chance to breathe. There was never an opportunity where I was like, all right, now Cumberland's got it, right? They really played that suffocating.
Well, the 2-score run in Game 2 showed us that they had the skills to compete here, but this is just a more complete Concord Esports squad, and I hate to say it, but I think that fact has been put on demonstration across 3 5-minute Rocket League games thus far. 20 seconds to go here, maybe looking for a little consolation prize, little score, put in a doggy bag, put it in the back of the fridge, and forget about it for about 2.5 weeks. Then debate on eating it when you're really, really hungry and it's late, but you don't ultimately, you do throw it away.
And then you're like, well, my trash is full, so do I just keep it in the fridge? What do I do with this after all? And
It's such a good point.
you know, I guess.
Real. This is getting too real.
I can keep going on for days. ET gonna clear back out. It's all a formality at this point. Helix will look at it, kill it. And at this point, it's gonna be Concord moving on to the next round. 3-0 over Cumberland Phoenix. And talk about, this is gonna be a team to fear moving forward in this bracket.
Very, very true. Also, the Cumberland Phoenix Black Squad beat Kennesaw State. That was a handed 3-0.
Right.
And now Concord Maroon comes through with their own 3-0 of this same Cumberland Phoenix Black Squad right here. Perhaps, the writing is on the wall and the underdog and favorited team kind of positions already figured out for this one. But, hey, who knows? Because you're going to have to stay tuned, continue watching that one, folks. NECC broadcast might be done on the day, but I used the word parity earlier, right? A lot of back and forth, a lot of things equaling themselves out. We've gotten 3-2 scorelines, series scores, We've had 3-1s. We had a 3-0 that was very close, and then perhaps a finishing series here on broadcast that simply was not as close as much.
Yeah, I had to close it out on the 3-0 note, and we learned something today that just Concord is on it, right? Cumberland, anybody's vulnerable at this point in time because, when you talk about just the Cumberland side and how they should have been more prepared perhaps to come in and take it to this Concord team and really had every opportunity to be the one victors here. But Concord came in at 5-1. It's not like they were a sleeper to coming in by any means, in any stretch of the imagination. And their mechanics are phenomenal. It's the Champions Division after all, so like we mentioned in the series previous as well, if you take a series off, forget about it. It's going to be next semester. We'll see you later, Cumberland. But they have great coaching. Like we mentioned, Coach Claypool is doing awesome things with Cumberland. Their recruiting is always on point. I've seen them very active with Stay Plugged In and finding just all sorts of talent to create a really deep team that's going to go a long way in the future. And I look forward to seeing what they can do next semester. But until next time, goodbye, Cumberland.
It's a very good point. Very good point. Big shout out to Cumberland right here. A lot goes into creating a successful esports program, and it really does seem like Cumberland's done the legwork on that over there on the East Coast. Love to see it. Unfortunate 3-0 loss here today. Concord Maroon. And I'll close this before we give our shout outs and stuff else like that. Kennesaw State, you have been put on notice right here, right? You've been put on notice. You got to pay attention to this squad because, again, the idea would be to go back and look at the game that you had with Cumberland Phoenix Black Squad and figure out just what exactly happened. Yes, it was a while ago. Yes, it was also a 3-0. And then the compounding factor of that is that this Concord Maroon squad just 3-0, the squad that beat you in 3-0 fashion. Of course, we'll see longer extended series later on in the playoffs and whatnot. Not everything is going to be a best of 5. And so that'll come into play like a little bit as well. But still, something to pay attention to if you remember Kennesaw State. Anything else for the good people, Bear Light?
Just want to say thank you for tuning in as always. Great production team behind the scenes too.
Yes.
They do a phenomenal job week after week after week. And for you sharing the booth and awesome time tonight. Awesome series tonight and looking forward to next week.
Absolutely. That is Polaroid, Zolex the Mage on the 1s and 2s here. Patrick with a little bit of support in the behind the scenes. Michael Booker, appreciate everybody over there at the NECC again, making our jobs as casters just that much easier. With that, though, I believe we have reached my least favorite part of any stream. That, of course, is the end. I'm just being dramatic, Bear Light. Appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, follow the players, follow their teams, follow the NECC. And if you're interested in your casters, well, there's FBI_tugboat right there. Bear Light Gaming over on Twitter or X or whatever it's calling themselves these days. Appreciate you guys watching. We will see you on the next one.